right, what is up, everybody? Divine Hood here, coming at you with another daily update on Bitcoin and the crypto markets. Welcome in, everybody. Happy Friday to you all. Crypto Wanderer, thank you so much for being here. Yes, guys, please smash the like button. We will go through a lot of altcoins today. We will go through Bitcoin today. Really nothing too much is happening on Bitcoin. Pullback as expected. But welcome in, guys. Yeshwant, much love to you. Thank you for always tuning in from India. Middle school kid, welcome in, man. Clarity Act rumored to be voted on by July 4th. All right, man, that could be very bullish for the crypto market. You know, uncertainty is what the big players hate in markets. And if we do get some certainty established in the crypto market, that could be a big catalyst, a big bullish catalyst for Bitcoin. Now, if it does get denied or pulled back again, that could also be the bearish catalyst that could dump us to new lows or continue this bear market. R Pink, let's go, man. Thank you so much for being here as always. Much love to you. Best mod in the world. I appreciate you as always, R Pink. Ryan Hinson, good afternoon to you. Ruda Mouth, good evening to you. Archie Live TV, what's up, man? It's so good to see you in here. Patrick Schooner, what's up, man? Crypto Clown World, thank you so much for being in here. It's good to see you as always. Chi-chan, welcome in, my man. We are looking pretty bullish. I know you've been pretty bullish over the past couple of days, weeks maybe. I still am expecting that Bitcoin could be topping here. Well, we will, as traders, we do need to consider both sides. But with the altcoins pumping like they are, what we see is we see Bitcoin pump, and then we see it rotate into some of the altcoins. And we are seeing that Bitcoin pump now rotating into the altcoins. And a lot of the altcoins, I mean, we see some huge gains on some of these altcoins. By the way, guys, Ondo, we talked about yesterday, pumping up to 47 cents, 45 to 47 cents. It's there. We've pumped up on Ondo. We're there. As Bitcoin is slowly pulling back in what looks like to be a corrective channel here, meaning that, yes, we could come a little bit lower, but I'm expecting a bounce and at least possibly a new high to be coming on Bitcoin. Team B Willa, Falco's Forge, Rui Official, thank you so much. Party of 6B, welcome in, guys. Thank you all so much for being here. So, guys, Bitcoin, we did see that key rejection from that key zone of $82,000 to $82,500. That was the log golden pocket, the one-to-one trend-based Fibonacci extinction, and a couple of very, very important pitchfork levels. Let me zoom out here on the 4-hour chart. You can see major, our multi-cycle pitchfork, it's the bearish backtest. Our bearish pitchfork from this cycle, it's a bearish backtest of that pitchfork. But the pullback, guys, doesn't look too bad so far. Now, could this still be an impulsive move down? It could be, but yesterday we talked about how in that move down, we were looking at a WXY correction. You have your W here, you have your small x, and then a Y, and ending the Y wave at that low. And we did not want to see another new local low. Well, so far we haven't. We have been just chopping sideways here. And we are also trending in this descending channel here. So what is either going to happen is we're going to hold this low. And if we do hold this low, I would expect to pump a double top, maybe coming up to the anchored VWAP, or we could make that big move up to $86,000, $87,000. But if we do continue to grind down here and make another new low, maybe hitting into that daily, that anchored VWAP, it's also your previous range value area high, then we could start to say there is a chance that this could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 contracting diagonal, a motive wave to the downside. And if that is the case, then we would probably be wanting to look out for a 3-wave corrective move up towards golden pocket 786, and then we could get another big dump coming in. Even if that is a B, C, or it could be the bigger impulse to the downside, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 coming in. But we are getting a little bit more information. Yesterday, in the live stream yesterday, I talked about how we need a little bit more data. We need a little bit more information in order to understand if this is a real rejection and a real reversal, or if it's just going to be another corrective move and the trend overall is going to continue. So far, I have to say, with the altcoins pumping off the way they are, with total market cap as well, guys, total market cap is holding pretty nicely. If we look at the daily time frame, we broke above our pitchfork midline that was acting as resistance We rejected from it. We made a higher low at the golden pocket, small rejection again, maintain bullish market structure, break above it, immediate back test, new highs, higher time frame back test, new highs, and we are continuing. We could continue up to this zone. So if the total market cap is going to continue to pump all the way up to, $2.9 trillion, that means Bitcoin and the altcoins have a lot of room to run, here. And then I would also say, if that is the case, we could be looking at the bullish scenario of a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, something like that. We are near the highs, guys. It is dangerous to be bullish near the highs of a big move. I mean, on Bitcoin, we have over a $20,000 move to the upside. So it's always dangerous to be bullish near the highs. And that is a mistake, that sentiment and emotion always gets bullish when we generally seem to be topping out. So as traders and as experienced traders, we know that we have to be careful, but the trend is our friend until the end. So yeah, almost an $18,000 move to the upside there. Until we start to break trend bearishly, we know that we could get some more local new highs. We could continue this local trend to the upside here. And we can play the trend, guys. That's what's great about being a trader, is you can trade scalp long, even though we're towards the top, and it's dangerous to be looking for longs towards the top of a macro move. We could play the trend and look at scalps. Also, we don't have to just trade Bitcoin. We can look at where opportunity is at in the market. Where are there good trade setups in the market? Yesterday, we talked about Solana. We talked about how Solana was likely to continue up to that resistance level around 83.8. We have a liquidity grab into a naked weekly point of control. I also talked about this naked weekly point of control, but I said it's unlikely this does anything because we don't really have any real confluence here. The other thing with Solana, we bounced from a very key low. This was a naked daily point of control and a liquidity grab in here. And then we were able to get back inside the volume profile, back test the value area low, pump up to value area high. We did get the rejection at value area high. We were looking for rejection and a possible rotation down, but that rotation down on Solana looks to have been a very nice 3-wave corrective move. Now we are breaking out of that descending channel corrective move. You can see this descending channel from just this price action in here. We are breaking out of that channel with high volume. If we zoom in onto like the 4-hour chart, you can see that we do have a spike in volume upon that breakout. I guess not a huge spike, but the important thing is we're breaking above the value area high of the range, and we're starting to see nice imbalance candles come in above the value area high of the range. So when you tend to break out of a volume profile that's 3 months long like this, you see an actual breakout. Now, we do want to see a daily candle close above this level of around 89.25. But if we can see a daily candle close above the value area high, then we now have only a couple targets left to look at, and it's really liquidity, range high liquidities. And so we have our liquidity into a naked weekly. If the naked weekly wasn't here, I would really be looking up towards this high only, but naked weekly level is a important, strong volume resistance, and we also have liquidity. And what do I say in these sideways ranges is most important to understand and to follow is volume and liquidity. So because of that, we do have to be aware we could get a pullback from 83.8. But even if we do get a pullback on Solana from 83.8, we could pull back to back test that value area high and now flip it into support. And if that flips into support, we could get that push up, taking out this high and potentially continuing to break this range up to much higher targets. And if we do that, we can look for nice long opportunities on the bullish backtest of this value area high. And I'm talking about potential swing long opportunities here where we could see massive gains on Solana. We know that Solana, when it does decide to run, it really does run. Some other altcoins that are really popping off, guys. Say we were seeing this on the 4-hour, this ascending channel. We rejected from the highs. We bounced from the midline, made a double top or grabbed a liquidity. We fell all the way to the bottom of the channel. We held it. We chopped in here for a long time. We held it. And if you remember, this is exactly what Tau looked like last week. We had that descending channel in here on Tau, and it broke out of the channel with volume. So we could, if we break above this high now. Now, I am a little bit concerned on, say, I would definitely not be longing now. If anything, I would take a short right now because we're grabbing liquidity into that channel midline. And if we do start to reject here, you could see a drop all the way to the bottom of the channel. But if we break above this, which it's really trying to, we're not really seeing a rejection here. We could shoot up all the way up to this top area, the top of the channel, which we could be looking for a long on the back test of that midline to come up to this area. So a lot of, the trend is our friend. We can play scalps. The important thing to understand, if you're longing altcoins or Bitcoin, anything, after it's pumped a bunch, you need to make sure you're using good risk management and you're finding an entry that gives you an asymmetric risk to reward ratio of at least 2.5 to 1. So what I'm talking about with that is let's say in this, for instance, with say here, you can see we are at resistance. We did get a bit of a reaction from that previous range high into our channel midline. But if we can start to break above this, even on the lower time frames, maybe 1 2 hour, a 4 hour candle close above, and then we get a bit of a pullback. And that would be great to see over the weekend. If we, break up here, pull back over the weekend, and we start to back test this area. If we have local bull divs and our money flow looks good, continues to look good on the higher time frames, like the daily, the 8 hour, the 12 hour, what we can do is we can enter along here, or I would personally wait for it to bounce a little bit. I would enter along there, and you can put your stop below that low, below the low where it bounced from the channel midline. And then we could be targeting, TP1 would be this zone up in this area. And you can see, even though we're longing the top, you still have a good risk to reward ratio, a 6 to 1 risk to reward ratio, and you're playing the momentum, you're playing the trend, you're using proper risk management. Where you get into trouble is if you're trying to long the breakout and the back test of this and you're entering with way too much risk, and say that trade goes against you, you make a lower high and then you break underneath it and you start to see that bigger drop to the downside. So that's why risk management is super, super key here, because longing the top, sometimes you will get stopped out. Actually, not sometimes, I would say a decent amount of times, maybe 30, 40% of the time, you have a higher risk of getting stopped out because you're longing a pump. But you can still play the opportunity in the market. Okay, let me check the chat here, guys. No, man, I was actually way too bearish during the last months since February, and now I adjusted my sentiment because I realized the lows probably in. Money flow crossover on the weekly is serious business. Yeah, Chichon, that money flow crossover is pretty important on Market Cypher B. Historically, it has acted as the bottom. But the one thing, and I know I've talked with you about this before, the one thing that's really concerning is that low and how we didn't have weekly or daily bull divs at that low. Could we see, guys... Let me go back to Bitcoin real quick here. And actually, we'll go to the index chart. And could we see a still... we know that this bull market was a little bit of an irregular bull market. We made new all-time highs before the halving. Also, we did top out right around that 4-year cycle top, the time-wise. But if we're looking at pulling Fibonacci retracement from the all-time high to that 60K low, and looking at that log scale, because that is more than a 30% dump to the downside, could we pump up to 97K, 98K, where we have very key liquidity, guys? We have very, very key liquidity, and still reject and then come down and make a new low, or maybe this is going to be the start of an accumulation zone, and 60K was the low. 60K was the tap to the low. We will still have opportunities to get in if we reject it. I do think 97K, if we make it up there, 97K is going to be a major, major zone where we will see a lot of sell-off. We know that that was the fair value for Bitcoin in the year of 2025. And you can see when the market overall gets to that fair value zone, we will see people take profit at fair value of a previous zone of balance if they expect the bearish sentiment overall to continue. Or if they, a lot of people, including myself, were buying 68, 70K, I would be taking some profit if we come up here, because I would at least be expecting some sort of reaction here, even if it's to come down and hit into your golden pocket, pull low to high. We would have to see how it plays out. The other scenario is we could reject from golden pocket and come down and make a new low, and then that would be the start of a accumulation. This would be a tap 1, this would be a tap 2, and then we could even get a tap 3 in here. But guys, it's looking pretty bullish. It is a Friday. We are going into the weekend. These weekend type pumps, when we see pumps going into the weekend, a lot of times the altcoins will actually continue to pump through the weekend. So we can be watching the altcoins this weekend to see if they're continuing to pump. And if we look at, let's go to Bitcoin dominance here. We're seeing Bitcoin dominance take a pretty big dump right now on the daily time frame. We did break out of this range, and this range is goes back all the way to August. So we've been in this range for quite a while. But if Bitcoin dominance is going to dump all the way back down to the value area high to back test that before coming up and grabbing some liquidity, I don't know why that does that on TradingView. We could see, if this is going to continue for a week or so, we could see a little bit of an altcoin run for a couple weeks. And that would be really nice to play that opportunity. Using proper risk management, guys. We have to make sure we're using proper risk management here. We cannot let our emotions and our FOMO and our bullish sentiment make us make poor choices. We can still play the momentum, but we have to play it responsibly. We have to play it with proper risk management. We have to play it being smarter than the average trader that just longs the top. Not quicker. Welcome in, my man. It's good to see you as always. My third long on the breakout of 80K today. Wait, your third long on the breakout of 80K. Let me go back to Bitcoin real quick, guys. So I did explain this a little bit earlier in the live stream, but I'm just going to go on to the 15-minute chart. We're going to turn on that parallel channel, and I'm just looking at this channel because we do tend to chop in channels, and we are also forming on the 15-minute time frame this triangle in here. This triangle is consolidation, right? Continuation consolidation pattern. Now, what we need to watch out for, because we're attempting one attempt, two attempt, and a bunch, I would say this is a third attempt, but it's a bunch of tries within that third attempt to break out of this channel. And if we do break out of this channel, I would be expecting a move at least up to the golden pocket, at the very least up to that golden pocket, which is going to be 81.5 or 80, yeah, 81.5, 81.6. We do have the second pivot of the channel. I talk about this a lot on my channel. When you see a channel like this that creates liquidity trails, right? Liquidity trails. When you break out of that channel, you will often pump up to at least sweep the liquidity of the second pivot of that channel, but a lot of the times you'll sweep the entire liquidity trail. So we know that we have liquidity up near that golden pocket. That is also where our macro pitchfork midline is, in this general area, pitchfork midline, golden pocket. And did we have the naked daily there? I think there was a naked daily point of control there as well. No, never mind. No naked daily point of control there. Let's see. Yeah, no naked daily there. Another thing to look at here is from our highs, for the most part, we've had volume decreasing, except for that big spike of volume at the low. Now, guys, corrective moves do end on a big spike in volume. If this was going to be an impulse 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a contracting diagonal impulse to the downside, you do see your wave 3 volume increase as you're moving. So that's why this low that we made yesterday is so important. We do not want to break 79,456 again. If we break down below 79,456, we could be seeing a longer drawn out dump to the downside. But if we are able to hold and start to break out of this channel, I'm expecting a move up to 81.5 to about 81.8 at the very least. It could continue pumping all the way up to, you know, our anchored VWAP 83.7-ish, 83. Your non-log golden pocket starts at 83.450-ish, I believe it was. So it's looking pretty good though, guys. It's looking pretty good as far as the volume decreasing as we're chopping down within this channel. It is, this volume, once again, is a bit concerning if it's a third wave, because we don't have, and if we're in a fourth wave, you do form triangles in fourth waves. And then we would want to dump and take that low. But a lot of the times, these three-wave corrective moves end on a high amount of volume. So, like, right now is the decision point. But with altcoins really starting to pop off, I do think the sentiment is getting pretty bullish for Bitcoin, meaning that we could continue to pump on Bitcoin as well. Because total market cap is pumping, guys. Total market cap is pumping. And let me get, yeah. We're also holding VWAP, starting to flip VWAP to support on the intraday trend, meaning we could continue up. It was acting as resistance here. You get new lows. Resistance here, get new lows. Now we flipped it, holding it bullishly. We could continue to make new local highs in here. But with total market cap overall moving to the upside, Bitcoin seeing a correction, that means we are looking at the total 2, total 3, the altcoin pretty much market caps. Altcoins are pumping right now. Altcoins are pumping against Bitcoin. Bitcoin dominance is dropping. I just want to see here. Yeah, and guys, we are seeing breakouts above key highs. What I will say is this clearly looks impulsive here. Very nice parabolic move to the upside. 3-wave corrective move. So right there, you expect to take out this high at the very least. Okay, now we're starting to do that. We do need to watch for a potential larger range in here, some sort of larger flat, a larger correction in there. But if we start to close, I would say even 2-hour, 4-hour candles above this high, I would expect continuation within this range. And I would be expecting to come up to take out these highs in here, meaning we do have some room for the altcoins to pump. Yeah. Let me go to Ondo, guys. Ondo is at some pretty big resistance right now. We talked about this yesterday. But for Ondo, we were looking at this as a either, so let me zoom out 2-day time frame first. 2-day time frame, we do have a pretty nice move down here. I was looking at this as a 1, 2, 3. We could be in our fourth wave here, which we expect it to come up to around 48 cents. As long as it doesn't hit the log golden pocket, we're okay. Of the third wave, so pulled from the highs of 3 to the lows of 3. If you hit the golden pocket, it would invalidate, and it would pretty much confirm that this is a low, a macro low. But we're still looking at the potential of an impulse from that low. So a wave 1 here, a wave 2 here. Clearly, this is looking wave 3-ish. Look at the massive increase in volume as you're pushing up. We are hitting now our 1.618 trend-based Fibonacci extinction, which is a target for a third wave. It's one of the primary targets. Third waves can extend higher. They absolutely can. And if we get a pullback here, we could get a pullback for a bit, and then we would look for a fifth wave. So we could look to long the pullback, even though, yes, I understand you're longing towards the top of a macro pump. That's where you have to zoom in on the lower time frames. You have to find an entry with a proper asymmetric risk to reward, and you have to use a proper position size based off that stop loss. But I mean, look at this, guys. Massive bull divs as we were coming down, massive bull divs here. Money flows on the 2-day is about to cross into the green here. On NAMI, it's heavily in the green, heavily pushing to the upside. Everything looks really nice here for potential continuation. I'm definitely not longing where we're at now. We're at the resistance now. Let's see some other opportunities. Chainlink is starting to push up as well. We are now coming to hit that resistance of the lower band of the pitchfork, but we were able to kind of get back inside that pitchfork. And now that we're pushing up here, I really do think that we have a high probability of back testing the value area low of this range, this upper range in here. We could see a back test of that. Now, just like Bitcoin, depending on what happens in this back test, you could see new lows coming in if you do reject from this area. But we can play trades within this trend here. Let me check this because I was actually looking at potential shorts on Chainlink from either 1050 here or about 1120-ish, 1118, 1120. I definitely don't want to be shorting against this type of money flow here. And also 4-hour bottomed out on money flow. We don't have any confirmed bear divs on the 4-hour. The 2-hour, yeah, you do have some bear divs in here, and you're possibly confirming another drive, but bullish money flow is going to overpower that for now. Bullish money flow crossing up back up into the green here. And what we can look at, even in these very low time frame scalp trades, is if we're able to break above this pitchfork band, back test it, we could look for a long with a very tight stop loss. You're longing here, you're putting your stop below that low, and you're looking to come up to test the top of the pitchfork band. That's still a 4.6 risk to reward ratio, and you're playing the trend. You just have to make sure you're using proper risk management. Okay, let me jump in the chat here, see what you guys are saying. Let me know, guys, post some altcoins in the chat. We can look at some of the altcoins in the chat. We can try to look for some good trade setups. If you guys see an altcoin that has what looks to be a good trade setup, or if some of these altcoins are lagging, like ZEC pumped a bunch, Ondo pumped a bunch, Near is starting to pump a bunch. I think Sui could be one of those that's about to pop off as well. We can be looking for the opportunity to see those 20% gains on altcoins. We could try to trade those trends. So post in the chat. All right. I was watching a YouTube trader last night. He said his system was a 1-to-1 trade setup. Wow, man, 1-to-1. That means you, geez, that's, yeah. I mean, to each his to own. Let's say that he has a 1-to-1 trade setup, but he has a strategy that has been proven over time, let's say a 6-month to year-long period, to be a 70% win rate strategy. That is when a 1-to-1 trade setup can be somewhat beneficial to you if your strategy is so nailed down and you know that you have a 70% win rate or more, or even a 60%. But I mean, 1-to-1 is definitely not the best. For me, I don't even feel comfortable at 2-to-1. I will take 2.5-to-1 risk to reward ratio trades. And then, of course, 3-to-1 is like ideal. 3-to-1 and higher is ideal. Okay, Celandina Anderson, welcome in. Weekly money flow crossover doesn't mean BTC can't have another low. You're right, it doesn't. But historically, on the weekly chart, let me just, let's go to the index chart and let's look at our weekly time frame. And we can go all the way back here in these prior bull markets. You can see when we crossed up on the weekly money flow back in 2015, that money flow cross was pretty much towards the lows of the bear market. We got a huge bull market. We had our money flow cross up here. Now, this is what I was talking about with Chichon last week. Money flow crossed into the green, right? Right at the top, we did see a huge pullback. Now, the low was still put in, but you can still pull back and put in a massive drop. It was a fake out. We came back into the red. And then the second time we came back up into the green. Well, actually, yeah. So zooming in here, you can see we came up into the green. Let me grab it. Right here is when we crossed into the green. We made a lower high and then a lower low. So there is times where you do see fake outs. And when does it happen, guys? In sideways ranges. And we're in a sideways range. Now it's not. We're in a few month range. This is way longer of a range, obviously. But you can see how, for the most part, money flow crossover into the green here. Actually, it crossed into the green, I would say, here. And look at, that was this high right here. We got the bull market really starting to kick off. Money flow is crossing into the green. Nami was showing bull divs. Nami did show the bull divs here. And does that mean that we could see a massive pump on Bitcoin? I don't like, one of the things that I really look at with these corrective moves, guys, is volume. And when we see like this ascending channel volume to the upside and ascending channel to the upside while volume is decreasing, that is a sign that it is a corrective move. So we have, that's a more of a sign, I should say, not a guarantee, more of a probability that's a corrective move. Now, let me actually, we'll hide that. I want to go in onto the daily time frame, and we can put on that ascending channel. So when you have a higher low into a golden pocket, or if it's a lower high, let's say if you're looking at a downtrending channel, You have your low, and then you come up into a golden pocket and you make a lower high and reject from the golden pocket. Actually, let's do this. Yeah, I'll just say you have a dump, you come up and you reject from the golden pocket, lower high, and then you start to drop back down. You can pull the channel from the initial high to the golden pocket high, lower high, and then you pull it to that first dump low. And that gives you a very nice channel. They're really highly respected. The same thing in an uptrend. Well, we had our low here. We pulled back to the golden pocket at 65K, made a higher low at the golden pocket, and then we could pull it up to that first major range high. And you can see we're chopping very, very nicely in an ascending channel. We're rejecting from the top of that ascending channel. If you do see a full rejection from this channel, like break market structure bearishly, you want to look at the midline because you often do get reactions at the midline. So we could come in on lower time frames and we could look at, okay, where is that midline coming in? Do we have some confluence at that midline? You know, 75.7, 75.8. I would say let's pull the volume profile here and let's see if our value area high is aligning there. No, not really. Get that there. All right, at least on the index chart, it's a bit lower. But let's pull our golden pocket from our last 74.9K low up to our high. Yeah, not that. The other option we could look at is, obviously, here the value area high was acting as resistance, and then we broke above it and flipped it to support in a 3-wave corrective move. So we can pull a golden pocket from that flip of resistance to support. So in other words, from this low right here, because that was a confirmed flip to support. Yeah, it is, nah, I don't like it. I don't like it too much. I mean, let's add our 786 in there. Yeah. All right, I don't see a lot of confluence with that midline. Little bit lower would be nice, 75K, or this liquidity, 74.9 to about 74.8. We have liquidity at 74.8 as well. So we do have some equal lows from this guy and this guy here. You might see then in that case a little bit of a fake out of the midline to grab liquidity, and then if you get back above, you would be looking for a pretty nice pump there. I feel bad for people still watching Crypto RS or Crypto Life or even Crypto Banter. Well, okay, I will say this. Crypto Banter, as far as technical analysis goes, I don't watch it for technical analysis. Sometimes I will watch it for the news, like the crypto news, because they are pretty up to date on crypto news. But once again, they're always getting really bullish at the highs, or they get into a coin after it's pumped a lot and they tell people like, hey, this is a great coin to run. And then usually that's when, you know, it dumps. Having people like Jay, Divine, Jay, Frankie, Andy, Coons, to me is like, yeah, thank you for that, Crypto Wanderer. I agree. All of these traders are real traders that I understand, that I think are profitable. They understand the markets. They understand technical analysis. So guys, I'm pretty much self-taught with everything. I've never taken a course in my life. I have obviously gone on like the Elliott Wave International website. I've learned from Elliott Waves on the website and stuff like that, but I've never taken a course in my life. Really what I did is when I got into trading, when I got into crypto, I was like everyone else. I was during the bull market. I bought the top of the bull market in spot. I didn't even know how to derivative trade or leverage trade yet at all. And I lost a lot in that first bear cycle. And of course you were buying the pullbacks thinking it was going to continue to pump, and it didn't. But because of that, it gave me, I said, I want to know what's actually happening and why it's happening. So it gave me a drive to learn technical analysis. So I started to watch traders that were actually successful, that actually every single day were coming on, and you know, no one's right 100% of the time, guys. It's based off, the market is based off probabilities. And so even if you are very, very good at technical analysis, you'll never be right at 100% of the time. But I would go watch the people that knew what they were talking about, were actually based in education, not just trying to give you a trade signal that they're not taking themselves, or, you know, things like that. And through the years of just tuning in every single day, learning different strategies, because all these people do have different strategies. You know, Frankie, volume profile trader. Jay is a butt cheek trader. If you guys market site for me, butt cheek trader. I mean, he uses a combination of things too. Volumes, you know, naked dailies, all this stuff like that. Andy, Elliott Waves, Coons, Elliott Waves. And so I took what I needed to, what worked for me. I took certain pieces from their strategies, the way they trade, and I built something of my own. And I really like pitchforks. I really like channels. And I understand, because we have so much bot trading in the crypto market, channels do work really well. You have those algorithmic bots that trade, you know, and that's why when you see a low time frame channel like this, it's a lot of bot trading that's going on in there. But I just learned over time and soaked it up. I took time, took time on the weekends when my friends might have been going out. I was staying in, learning technical analysis, or just watching the charts and studying how the market moves. And in time, I was able to finally get a decent grasp of the market. And then, of course, comes to play your FOMO, your emotions, your discipline. And that is something that takes, I think, is much harder to learn than the actual technical analysis, is the discipline, the psychology of trading. But once you start to actually be honest with yourself and be strict and disciplined, then you start to actually be profitable on a consistent basis and start to build it. And guys, I understand if you are trading and you do not have a large amount of money, you're starting with a small portfolio, you know, $500, $1,000, let's say, and it's a slow process, right? Trading is not a get rich quick scheme. So you're starting out really slow. You're starting to be profitable consistently. You're starting to make those gains. And you're in this area here. You have $500, and 2 months from now, it's at $600. You're like, damn, I put in 2 months of work for $100. What am I doing? You know, but it's not about the amount of money you make. It's about the percentage of profitability you make and being consistently profitable with that percentage. Eventually, in time, if you're able to maintain that discipline and continue that profitable strategy that you're employing, you start to hit up into that $10,000, you know, profit, $10,000 portfolio size. And now you're risking 1 to 3% of $10,000 a day. You're making more money per day. You're compounding that back in. There gets a point in time in your trading career, in your trading journey, where all of a sudden now you're making very, very comfortable profits just by doing the same exact thing you were doing down here and making almost nothing. You were putting in a bunch of hours. You were putting in a bunch of time, energy, and effort for little profit. You're putting in that same time, energy, and effort up here. And now you're starting to make enough money to maybe change your lifestyle, maybe, you know, things like that. So trading is a journey. And if you can really be honest with yourself and disciplined with yourself, and find a strategy that works for you, then I think it's a really, really great tool to have. And I see so many of you guys in here are super, super dedicated. You're in here every single day. You're understanding the market. You are learning the different nomenclature of the market, how the market works. You know, different assets do act different ways. So like if you're a Bitcoin trader, it's good to know how Bitcoin works. Like for instance, Bitcoin really likes modified skiff pitchforks instead of skiff pitchforks. But yeah, I would say it's awesome, Crypto Wanderer, and thank you for the comment, man. Chantya, Chat Hangya, welcome in, man. Yeah, we'll check Ethereum here. And Boomdoc Saint, John, welcome in, my friend. Okay, so Ethereum, we were actually looking for a bounce at this golden pocket and this value area low. We did see a little bit of wickage down below it, but you can see this is very choppy in here, but this does look pretty impulsive. And we were looking for, and we also broke market structure bullishly by taking out this high. I understand it was just kind of a liquidity grab of that high. If we look at that high, I mean, no, actually we got quite a ways above it. So you broke market structure bullishly by breaking above this high. Also, this was a confirmed 3-wave move down. Because that was a confirmed 3-wave move down, that is a corrective move. Now, yes, it did make new lows, but that's a corrective move. So we're expecting that you should be making new highs, and we did. So now we know that we had a corrective move. We made new highs, changed market structure bullishly. Because of that, if we fall back inside the volume profile, and by the way, I warned of this when we did fall back inside. I said, guys, we're falling back inside. We could come all the way down here. We did see a small bounce from POC, but lost it. We came down here, but now we're holding the golden pocket in the value area low of the range. We're holding it so much that we are now pushing up to that POC. If we can flip this POC bullishly, just like when we broke it, we bounced here a little bit, but you broke it down, you went to value area low. If we can flip this POC bullishly, then you have a very high chance of coming up to value area high. But knowing that this is a bullish market now, or a bullish change in momentum market structure, you could continue up to break this high or continue up to break this high. And I am looking for Ethereum to continue up. Zooming out onto the daily time frame on Ethereum, couple important things here. Let me just get rid of this now. All right. So once again, we can pull that channel. Let's pull it to here. Pull that channel. I just want to look at two channels here. So let me do another one to this guy. I like the first one better. It's more respected. The midline's more respected. So we'll go with that first one there. All right. So we could see Ethereum push up to the top of the, if we can flip this midline, right? Like, this is important. We've been in this range for a few weeks now. This little sideways range for a few weeks now. And we're just consolidating sideways at the kind of macro highs of the range. It's this like order block in this resistance zone. There was some volume that was put in here, a little bit of volume. If we break above it, there is really nothing in here that is going to keep us from at least coming up to 27, but we could probably come up to $2,900 to $3,000, where your previous range, point of control, the back test of your value area low. It's also our anchored VWAPs, our major anchored VWAPs. Anchored VWAP from the lows of the cycle, anchored VWAP from the all-time high of the cycle, coming together, $3,000, $2,900, $3,000. It is, yeah, the back test of the value area low, a very, very strong level right there. But what Ethereum is trying to decide right now is if it's going to see a true breakout. And we are just chopping within this range. We're not really breaking down from this range. And you can see if we now employ that same strategy of the anchored VWAPs on the macro high and the macro low, we can look at anchored VWAPs from the previous range high and our low that was put in, our most current higher low on the chart. And you can see that they are very close together, just like the last one. We're coming down, we're bouncing from them as support. We bounced here, we made a new local high. We're now getting back inside the volume profile, bouncing from value area low. So I would expect that this could break out here. This could break out. And if we do break out, once again, there's only a couple levels, guys. Of course, always, always, always within these ranges, you have to watch the liquidity. So we have a liquidity high here. We have a liquidity high here. But if we can actually really start to break above it and not see an SFP, I would expect that we're going to continue up to the top of this channel, which is where about, at the time it takes, it's going to be about where these $2,700 zone is. Let me pull this over more. And that is going to be 2 naked daily points of controls in that zone. 2 naked daily points of controls. This 2430, let me just double check this to make sure this is a new naked daily point of control, because if it is, I would very much so watch 2430, because we have our second liquidity high into a naked daily, and that's a very, very important zone where you could see a rejection. Yeah, you can see that is still a fresh naked daily point of control at 2430. Let me get rid of this guy. And I don't know why I have 2 here. We only need 1. All right. Yeah. Let's be aware here. We're at the POC of the range. It's also the back test of this channel midline. So if you do reject here, the local downtrend is probably going to continue. If we do continue, I do see a nice support level right now here for us. You can see this liquidity. Once again, guys, sideways range here. Liquidity level into an anchored VWAP. Yeah, naked daily point of control. I would say this zone would be a nice little scalp long opportunity, or a long opportunity that could turn into something more. As far as our indicators or oscillators go, Market Cipher B was having the 1 hour bull divs as we were coming down to value area low and golden pocket. And then the same with NAMI, multiple drives of bull div, money flow, bull divs. It's crossed up into the red, or the green, excuse me. 2 hour. No bull divs on Market Cipher, but we are pushing back up into the green now. And NAMI's pushing pretty nicely into the green. Yeah, and 4 hour money flow. Okay, a bit ambiguous here, guys. We could see a small rejection. Money flow on NAMI is aggressively leaving, and it looks like it's wanting to kind of roll over here and roll over here a little bit. If you're interested in looking for a long on Ethereum, if you flip that POC and backtest it, you could be looking for a long on the backtest. Your stop would go below wherever that low was, and then you could be targeting. I mean, even the value area high is a 5-to-1 risk to reward ratio there. I would probably take some profit there if we have our golden pocket. Let's see if we have that golden pocket. It's close. So yeah, I would be interested in potentially taking some profit at that golden pocket there. That's kind of a small internal resistance if you're going to continue to chop in this sideways range. But first, we have to flip this, guys. First, we have to flip this here. If not, we're coming down. And then the bigger resistance that I would definitely take some profit at if we get the confirmed swing failure pattern, would be this zone in here. You have a fresh naked daily point of control into that liquidity of this pivot of the sideways range. What I would be expecting, actually, let me get rid of this one now, because what I would be expecting is if we are going to break out of the value area high and then reject from this naked daily point of control 2430, you're probably going to see a pullback to back test that value area high. And depending on what happens with this back test here, if you back test it and hold, you're at least going to come take out this range high. And potentially that's when you see that bigger move up to 2,700 or even 2,900. But yeah, Ethereum is just chopping sideways for now. So, and then we were in the descending channel. Let me go ahead and, I didn't mean to delete it. I meant to hide it. We had a very nice descending channel here on Ethereum. Let me make this blue so that you guys can see it a little bit better. But yeah, you were chopping in and down. So, okay, guys, this is going to be very important resistance, right where we're at right now, this zone, because you can see we fell back inside the channel. If you back test it here and reject, you're confirming re-entry back inside, and I would expect a drop down to the midline, which is where our support is. We can set an alert on this just in case we come down there. 2230 to 22.8 or 2228 to 2218. Okay, I don't like how on the daily time frame Ethereum tried to break out of that channel. Let me just hide this one. Let me turn off my naked dailies real quick. if we're paying attention to this downtrend channel here, after this big pump, we did try to break out of the channel 1, 2, 3, tried to break out. We just wicked up to grab liquidity, and then we fell back inside. We printed a hidden bear div, which is a continuation pattern on the daily time frame on that lower high, meaning there is a real shot that you do come take out this low. So it's the decision point is literally going to be made on this POC and this midline. The top, yeah, it's the POC of the range. It is the midline of our larger parallel channel, and it is the top of the smaller channel. So this zone right in here. Okay, man, I'm so far behind in the chat. Or am I? Let's see here. I started listening to Crypto Arzas, but after a while, I was like, what the fuck? This guy just hold and don't sell. We don't make money buying and holding. Yes, I agree. You know, there's some people that say, I'm never selling my crypto, or XRP Army or Chainlink Marines. I'm never selling it. I'm never selling it. I don't know about you guys, but I'm in here to make a better life for myself. So like, I'm trying to make profit, like make money. Essentially, you're trying to make money to support yourself, to get the life that you want. So I am totally fine buying and selling. And yes, there is a small portion of my bag that is super long-term that I'm holding for much higher targets, but that doesn't mean I won't sell it ever. Like there will be one point in time where I'll always be trading as long as the markets allow it, I guess. You know, maybe AI is going to ruin everything. I don't know. Who knows what's going to happen in the future. But I will be taking profit and trying to build my own life while trading and while investing. I'm not in investing just to be a fan of a token and to never sell it. So yeah, I get that mindset, man. Yeah, take profits. Absolutely, R-Pink, take profits. Chicken Salt, welcome in, my friend. Thero B-Side, welcome in. Aero Soul, yep, we'll look at those. Filecoin Adam, yep. Okay, guys, I want to take just a second here to shout out the partners of the channel, and then we'll go into some of these altcoins. We can also look at order flow real quick on Bitcoin, because we are seeing, no, I guess locally we are seeing some bullish CVD absorption right here. Actually, it's more from this low here, and it's rising a little bit, or it's more flat, but some bullish CVD divergences within this triangle, meaning that we could probably break out of this thing. Okay. Partners of the channel. The main partner of the channel is BYDFI. They are a VPN and KYC free exchange. All you need is an email and a password to sign up. If you do sign up using my affiliate link in the description below, you can get a minimum of 20% discounts on trading fees, and you can earn up to 40% discounts if you deposit large amounts into the exchange. They're offering up to $8,100 in futures trading bonuses. So guys, just by trading these altcoins and just by trading Bitcoin on the USDT futures market, which is what we're trading on, you can earn up to $8,100 in futures bonuses paid in real Bitcoin and real USDT. They're also offering some of the best initial deposit bonuses in the entire industry. If you deposit $100, you can get a 50% bonus on that. Most exchanges will give you $20. They're giving you over double that. They are giving you 20% deposit bonus up to $1,000, and they're giving you a 10% deposit bonus up to the $20,000. So if you deposit $20,000, you can get a $2,000 bonus. Really, really good bonuses there. Really good incentives to hop on, to try it out. If you are interested in trying it out, I've also partnered with BYDFI to create a Telegram community where I do post my trade setups. I try to let you guys know if I'm entering a trade. I try to let you guys know throughout the day what's happening with Bitcoin. There's a general tab in there where you can ask me, general chat where you can ask me questions. So if you're interested in joining that Telegram community, it's free. All you need to do to enter is join BYDFI using my affiliate link, and then deposit a minimum deposit of $100 or more. You can deposit more if you want to get some of the bigger bonuses. You do have to KYC level 1 to get these bonuses, guys. And that's not just on BYDFI. Any exchange in the world, if they're offering you bonuses, you do have to KYC level 1 at least to get those bonuses. But once you've signed up with BYDFI and deposited the minimum amount, you can click the Telegram link in the description of this video. And in that Telegram channel, you type in /verify and then your BYDFI user ID. /verify user ID. It'll automatically throw you into the main Telegram community. And once you're in, you're in. The money you deposit into BYDFI, you're not paying that to me. You're not paying that to BYDFI. It's your money. We're just having you deposit on the exchange in hopes that you will try out the exchange, like the order flow, like the UI, like the good fees, like the incentives, and use it as one of your primary exchanges. So I think it's a win-win for everyone. The second partner of the channel is another non-KYC exchange. It is Blowfin, and Blowfin is offering a VIP 1 for 30 days. If you deposit just $5 into the exchange, they'll give you a $10 voucher, so 200% of what you deposit. And then they do have some good net deposit bonuses as well, those initial deposit bonuses. So 20% on $100, all the way up to, if you deposit $10,000, you can get a $1,000 futures bonus. It is a way to help out the channel to use any of these affiliate links. It's a way to say thank you. If you guys don't want to do that, you can also just hit the like button and subscribe and share, all that good stuff. I have 2 KYC exchanges. They're MEXC and Bybit. Bybit offers up to $30,000 in futures trading bonuses, and MEXC is offering a 10% initial deposit bonus up to $1,000. And then lastly, the last partner of the channel is NAMI Trading. And NAMI is this momentum and money flow indicator you see down here. I use it for confirmations on my trades. Actually, seeing the SFP, or seeing us take out this high and then losing it with these crazy bear divs that we were seeing, would have been a really nice short opportunity there. So as we're coming up to a key level, I'm not looking for bear divs in the middle of nowhere, but as we're coming up to a key level, if we have confirmations on the chart, I'll enter the trade. And so I use it for confirmations to enter and exit trades. And since I've been using it, it's really helped me get into the trades that are more probable to play out and stay out of the trades that are less probable to play out. It's greatly helped me. You know, it's a tool. If you're a plumber, you invest in the proper tools to be an expert in that field to make your job easier. For me, as a trader, I see Market Cypher B and NAMI as the proper tools in order to help me become a better expert or a better trader. And so it's worth it for me. I've partnered with them. If you guys want to purchase NAMI, it is a paid indicator. If you click the affiliate link in the description, I do have a 50% off discount code. If you type in Divine50 when you're checking out in that promotion box, you can get 50% off there. All right, let's go into the altcoins, guys. I do want to look at USDT dominance for just a second here. I just want to see if we're continuing to break down that naked weekly. Okay, we're seeing a bounce from the naked weekly point of control in the daily level, and it's also your 382. So guys, we do have to be careful here. Bitcoin is at macro resistance, and we are at macro support on USDT. This is a very strong support. It was a naked weekly point of control. It was the daily, and more importantly, that 382 Fibonacci, which is a common target for a wave 4 correction. What I will say about this looks corrective. This does not look impulsive to the downside. Very, very corrective in here. So if this is going to be a corrective move, we're expecting eventually a break of this corrective move and a push up. That's on USDT. It's inversely correlated to Bitcoin and the altcoins. So if USDT is dumping, the altcoins are pumping, Bitcoin is pumping. But when USDT starts to pump, it means the altcoins and Bitcoin are dumping. This looks very, very impulsive to me, guys. This looks very, very corrective, and we are at support. Bitcoin is at resistance. We have to be careful here. That's why I said we can long the tops, but we have to use proper risk management. We have to make sure our risk to reward ratio is asymmetric, and we are using, you know, that proper position size. All right, we do have this nice descending channel that we've been trading in. You can see the midline is being respected pretty nicely. And so what we saw the last couple of days is we dropped down just underneath the midline to hit that naked weekly, to hit that daily level, to hit that 382. Now we're pushing back up. And if we bounce here, at that local golden pocket. So let me go in here. We'll zoom into the 4-hour time frame. If we bounce at this golden pocket, which is going to be where your midline is, then I would probably suspect we're going to continue up here. As long as we're still chopping side on the larger time frames, guys, this is on the larger time frames. As long as we're still chopping sideways and down within this channel, we could see a real breakdown to that next major support, the 0.5 Fibonacci, around 6.5%. And that would probably mean that Bitcoin's going to 87 or higher. And the altcoins are probably going to see a pretty big run. Very, very locally, I think this downtrend is going to continue. So today, I believe that altcoins and Bitcoin, or maybe not Bitcoin, but the altcoins are going to continue to locally pump. All right. And then, yeah, I want to check out Bitcoin here for that. On the 5-minute time frame, just inside of this triangle here, you are seeing some very nice, bullish absorption here. So from this low to this higher low, those are higher lows in the price action. You can see we are definitely making lower lows in the CVD, and your open interest is rising here. So we are seeing local bullish absorption, meaning we're probably going to break this thing out and at least come sweep this high. And remember, we have our bigger descending channel on the hourly. If we break out of the descending channel, there's a high likelihood we come up to 81.6, 81, 81.6 to 81.8, I think it was. 81.6, 81.7-ish. Money flow is looking okay. We did print a hidden bull div on the 15-minute on that higher low. Guys, we are forming bullish absorption from this low to this low. We printed a hidden bull div here. It's a continuation pattern. I think it's going to continue to the upside. Arrow. Okay, let's go through some of the altcoins. What was that? AERO, USD. Aerodrome. All right. Let me grab this. We'll pull this here. Wow, this looks pretty nice actually here, guys, because you can see we very nicely, first off, you had this low would have been the perfect low to catch. You SFP'd the low of 27 cents. You SFP'd this low, and actually that low was already SFP'd here, but yeah, this was a really nice SFP here. You got back inside your volume profile. We did bounce actually from that support level. You can see I had a green box in there. We bounced from that support level, pushed up, broke market structure bullishly. This looks like a corrective channel, those same types of corrective channels we've been talking about on the stream. And now you're breaking out of it pretty nicely here. Let's see. Are we at the golden pocket? Yeah, we're at golden pocket. We got to be careful. You're at golden pocket here. But this here is equal highs. Let me double check this. We've got a high at 63299, 63275. So pretty much equal highs, but this liquidity hasn't been taken. Now we have a lot of liquidity resting above those highs. So I would suggest that if we're going to break this golden pocket, you're going to come up to this at least 60, 63, 3-ish zone. Weekly money flow is about to cross into the green on Market Cipher. It has crossed into the green on NAMI. Pretty good there. And we really do want to break that high at 63 cents. If we break that high at 63 cents about, this could be confirmed as a 3-wave corrective move on the weekly. You break above that, yes, you could still see a nice pullback, but then we would expect a larger potential impulse here. And that impulse could take us up to take out that high and even take out these highs in here. Now, that's on the weekly time frame. That will take time, guys. That's not going to be something that happens in the next month or 2 months. Okay, no weekly levels in here. Let me check for monthlies. You have that monthly level up near your value area high. That's going to be important. Monthly is a high time frame resistance. You have this daily order block in here that is a bit troublesome for the bulls because your 786 is going to be really close to that. So you could see a little bit of a pullback from this zone, but I would be expecting, if you're going to continue this impulse, 1, 2, all of this could be a 3. You might be actually, I would, let's check this here. And down, we want to bring it to that triangle low. Yes, it is going to be very close, guys. So I would actually say that zone in there is going to be a resistance. So maybe you see something like this overall. This overall, this choppiness continues for a little bit, but gets us up here. And then we see a pullback from here. And then that 5th and final wave to take out those highs. That would give you an impulse here on the daily time frame. And that would even take a, you know, this is on the daily time frame, so it could take us 2 months to even see this. And then you would be expecting a pullback to golden pocket and then launching. On the lower time frames, just play that range. The range that we're in, this sideways range right here. You're at the golden, you're at a macro golden pocket, so be very, very careful of looking for swing longs here, because if it rejects here, if we see a real rejection here, you're going to see a massive drop. No, not that. This. Yeah, but you're chopping in this sideways range. As far as local resistance goes, your local golden pocket is going to be at value area high. You can see that local golden pocket is going to be at value area high. So that could be a local short scalp opportunity if you're going to continue to chop. But let's look at our oscillator to see 4 hours crossing into the green here. Not quite here, but we did see some very nice 4-hour bull divs in here. You can see as we were making these lows. Eight-hour, important to look at money flow. Money flow, green dot, money flow curving to the upside again here. And on NAMI, it looks to be bottoming out. And then on the daily time frame, yeah, you did have some bear divs coming into that golden pocket. So from here to here, and actually from here to here to here, you can see you had some bear divs, very local. Or regional, I mean, not local. Your local has been invalidated. So it looks like to me that this is kind of a corrective move in here. If you reject from the golden pocket at 47 cents, then you might come down and sweep the lows of this little range. Once again, in corrective moves do like to form channels because they are, there's a lot of kind of that bot trading that goes on that. So we can pull from the high to the higher low, a descending channel, bring it down to that range low. Actually, I would bring it down to your first initial low. Yeah, midline's being really well respected. You're breaking above the midline right now. You're flipping it. You can see breaking above, trying to flip it. Likely to continue up to 47. Likely to continue at least up to 47 right now. You're breaking above POC, Hopefully you can maintain. I know this is low liquidity, but 47, if you break above 47, your top of the channel time-wise could be aligning with the 786, so be careful for that. But I think that this looks corrective. Look at how overall volume is decreasing here. And that means descending channel, decreasing volume, likely to continue to push up. At these more macro golden pockets, you can see we hit into the 0.618 here. You got to be careful for a distribution range. So this could be like a tap 1. You could, range for a bit, tap 2, come back down and range. So if over the next week, you could be forming distribution in like this area at the golden pocket. All right. Let's see. What was the next? Solana. We covered Solana a little bit. So Solana is pumping. I think we're going to come up to 93.8 at the very least. It is breaking out of the descending channel. It is breaking above the POC of the range. We're breaking out of the value area high of the range. Today's daily candle on Solana is going to be really important, guys. If we close the daily candle above 89.25, very nice probability of continuation. We are forming some bear divs here on the 2-hour time frame. You could see higher highs here, lower high potential here, and I would expect that you're probably going to see the bear divs. You're probably going to come up to that high right there. And then on the 4-hour, money flow looks pretty good, but once again, you're developing the potential for bear divs here. So I would be very careful from a pullback from 93.8. Naked weekly point of control. If we get the pullback, what we can look for is the back test of the value area high. And if you pull back and back test this and you start to bounce, you could look for a long here. Stop would go underneath that wick, and I would at least be targeting taking out the high of this rejection. That could be a really, really nice trade there. On the other hand, we are seeing some bear divs, 2-hour, 4-hour potential. We could get a bit of a cool off from 93.8. So you could look for on the confirmed rejection. So we have liquidity in a range. If we come up, hit the naked weekly and start to lose that prior high, that is when you can look for the swing failure pattern short. Stop goes above the wick, and you could target the value area high. Very nice risk to reward ratio scalp trade. Overall on Solana, let me go to this chart here. Yeah, overall on Solana, we have our bigger pitchfork. We have our sideways range. You can see we're pretty much holding the bottom of the pitchfork. We're back testing the lower band. We did see a little bit of a fake out here, so we have to be careful for the same thing, but it's less likely to fake out a second time. So we're breaking inside the pitchfork band. We're probably going to come up overall in the next few days. It doesn't mean we're not going to get that small pullback from 83.8 first, but it's likely that we're going to come up to like 97 or so. Let's look at that volume profile on this range. Yeah, so this is at 89-ish. Yeah, it's about the same. Okay. Yeah. 2 levels I would be watching, guys. The 83.8 coming up right now. 83.8. If we get that liquidity grab, you might see a small pullback. I'm going to delete this one now because we're hitting into it today. If you're not going to get the liquidity grab here, you're going to pump to 97, 97.6-ish, because 97.7, I should say. And that's near the top of the pitchfork band. So you would be expecting something like this continuation, maybe a liquidity grab, and then you kind of get that back test of the value area high and the pitchfork band. If it holds here, you could actually break this and start to see that push up to back test your macro value area low and your pitchfork midline. Yeah, we're flipping the anchored VWAP again too. So, all right, Filecoin. Wow, nicely breaking. Guys, this is actually really nice to see. So we have this range down here. We did hit into the 1.618 trend-based Fibonacci extinction. So be very careful here. And this is of a larger move. You can see how I have this labeled. On the overall, we're looking for a fourth wave coming up to probably $2 and then seeing a potential fifth wave coming down. But you have wave 1, wave 2, all of this was a wave 3. So from this last sideways range, we have a sideways range up here on the daily time frame. Your range high, you have an impulse down, nice corrective move up, and then all of this is a 3 that came right to your 1.618. And then so now what we're looking for is a wave 4 correction that could bring you up between the 0.382 and the 0.5 Fibonacci. Let me make sure this is on log. Yep. So 193 to 257, guys, or 278, I would say. We had a corrective channel in here. We're coming up to backtest that. I would be aware of that. But what we're seeing in this small range on the daily time frame for the past couple of months, we're breaking out of this range. I don't know why I have it so small for you guys. Resistance, resistance, failed auction, resistance, resistance, breakout with a high amount of volume. You grabbed liquidity. You saw a small pullback, making a higher low, and now we're pumping. So we really do have, you have a daily level at the top of this back test here. That could give you the some resistance. Yeah, 127.9 to about 130, guys. 128 to 130 could give you some resistance. And let's pull our golden pocket. Yeah, that's a bit above. Okay. We do want to make it back inside of this pink channel. So if we can actually see this break above, reject golden pocket, I would be looking for a small pullback to backtest the bottom of the channel. If you backtest the bottom of the channel and hold, there's the opportunity to come all the way up to the top of the channel, which would be naked weekly point of control, SFP, naked monthly point of control, liquidity, very strong. So this liquidity at 197, guys, 197 to 205 is super, super important resistance here. Super important resistance. But we're looking for a wave 4 on the higher time frame. So on the weekly time frame, we're looking for a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But for the next few weeks, maybe months, we're looking for a move up to about 193 to 257, 278-ish. Those are your two major zones, here and here. The very first order of business is we have to break this daily at 128. We have to break into our channel again. But very nice on the daily time frame. Very nice breakout of the value area high. What was that, 4 days ago, 3 days ago on Wednesday? Grab liquidity, small pullback, and now we're continuing. So it's likely, very, very likely we continue up to this area or even higher. Okay, I want to check the chat real quick. We'll do ADA as well. ICP, we'll definitely look at our ICP as well, our pink. Thank you. Giggle could do some. We'll look at Giggle. Yep. Chad P, welcome in, my friend. It's good to see you in here. Always looking for a good uneven butt cheek trade. Me too, our pink. I love those butt cheek trades. And I mean, Market Cipher, be uneven cheeks for all you dirty thinkers out there. All right, super slow. I've been trying to get this for 3 years this November, and just now I'm starting to break even. Well, Crypto Wander 1, what I will say about you, if you've been doing this for 3 years and you're starting to get consistent and stuff, you have a very good mindset. You have the mindset to be a really profitable trader. So don't be too hard on yourself there. What you do need to be honest with yourself on, if you've been doing this for 3 years and you're understanding the technical analysis of it, but you're still struggling with profitability, it's probably, and I'm not trying to be hard on you. I'm not, you got to be brutally honest with yourself. If you actually want to do this for a living, you're probably not having proper discipline in your trading and proper trading psychology. So that is where you got to take a look in the mirror and say, why am I not following what I know is right? Like, why am I letting FOMO get to me? Why am I letting impatience get to me? You really have to be patient with the markets and take the trade setups that are good risk reward ratio, but also have proper confirmations. And so I would say, a lot of people like to overtrade as well. They're sitting at the charts all day. They're staring at the charts. They want it. They need that dopamine hit. They want to be in something. So make sure you're checking yourself on that, man. You got to be honest with check yourself on it. But yes, good for you, man. I'm super happy. And I hope, if you continue to stay in here, I hope I can help you out a little bit with that. And thank you for like everything, man. Thank you for being a part of the community, and good mindset. You do have a good mindset of to stay with it, to stick with it. We'll look at Near. Near is definitely one we'll look at. Rune we'll look at. Sudeep, welcome in, my friend. Love you so much. Thank you for being here. Turbo, okay. Yep, we'll look at, gosh, we got a lot to look at. So let me go through Adam real quick. We'll do these a little bit quicker, guys, because yeah, we'll do them a little bit quicker. All right. Why am I on Kraken? Dang. Okay, so for Adam, we were chopping in this sideways channel. We lost it. We back tested it, and then we rejected. We came down. We're pretty much at the lows. Okay, what I will say here on Adam, bull divs on the weekly. You can see all this is starting to get, that's that selling exhaustion. Remember the choppy overlap in the channel that I always talk about with bull divs on the weekly. Money flow coming up on the weekly. Bull divs on the weekly, money flow, bull divs on the weekly. So Adam is probably near a macro bottom here, guys. What we could look at is this, we'll zoom in now onto the daily time frame, and we'll look at pretty much just this price action in here for now. Because until we get, this is selling exhaustion that's starting to take place, but this could keep going, right? It could keep going for some months. So we need to determine what is happening within this selling exhaustion. Daily time frame, we could throw on our channel, our exhaustion channel. I'll make this one blue so that we don't confuse it with the bigger one. But you can see the bigger one lost it, back tested, new low. We're chopping very nicely in this. We're finally flipping that midline to support. We have a high likelihood of coming up to around 213-ish. 212, 213. And what we're going to do is we're going to pull the volume profile of pretty much, since we back tested this bigger channel and rejected, we're going to pull a volume profile of that, because that's kind of where this choppiness starts. Okay, we're at the POC, guys. At the POC of the range. If we can flip this, I do think we have a high probability of coming up to value area high. Or we do have to watch for the rejection from the top of the channel, 213-ish, 212, 213. Yeah, that's where we have to watch, guys, right there. Let me make sure this is... You want to watch this golden pocket, which is actually 216 to 219. Because what we could see is if we flip this, come up here, reject, then you would expect to at least backtest the POC If it holds, you could work your way up to value area high and see a true breakout. If it doesn't hold, you could see that rotation all the way back down to your value area low in your channel midline. Money flow looks pretty good here on the daily time frame. You did print a hidden bull div on the daily time frame on these lows right in here. That is a very, very good sign. Yeah, we need to get above this POC. We need to get above this. And this is coming in at like 197. We need to get above 197. You had some bull divs. They're starting to play out, followed by hidden bull divs twice on the 4-hour time frame. Looking good for continuation. Yeah, okay. And this actually is going to be a bit of a tough one. A naked weekly into a 786. If we're going to see a fake breakout of the channel, I would expect to see something like a push up into this, a rejection, and then if you fall back inside, you're going to see a big move down. Now, on the other hand, if you reject here and you back test the channel and it holds, I would expect to come up and take out some highs coming up probably to the next value area high, or even to back test the top of this guy, the bottom of the much larger channel. Yeah, and you have, okay, couple very, very key zones, guys, for Adam. A high time frame, bullish. It looks bullish. But we have a naked daily point of control inside the golden pocket with a volume and a volume level there and a golden pocket there. That's the fake out zone, actually, not this. If we get up to this, we're probably going to see a small rejection, back test, and higher. If we come up here, we reject. That's the real fake out opportunity where you could fall back inside the channel. So we have to be careful at 218, 216 to 219, let's say. But larger time frames are looking good, guys. Yeah, and going back to those naked weeklies, you break above, you're going to get some, you have some naked weeklies up here that you're probably going to take out. Remember, when you break these channels, you look to sweep liquidity. So I would be looking to sweep that liquidity all the way up to this naked weekly point of control at 271. And if we look, what is the most important thing, guys, in ranges like this, or like exhaustion? Liquidity and volume. What do we have here? We have our, if I can get to it, liquidity into a volume. SFP at 269 into 271. Major, major opportunity for rejection. Okay, so there's some targets for you guys. All right, let's see. Where was I? We did Adam, ICP. Well, ICP did get a pullback from this resistance. It back tested our prior highs, and now it's launching. So very nice. I mean, guys, ICP is breaking out of this range. Look at resistance, a little bit of a failed auction resistance, breakout. Very nice bullish breakout, high spike in volume, on the breakout, real break. You backtest, you came into your naked monthly point of control and your daily level. You rejected, you saw that confirmed three-wave move down. Confirmed three-wave move down here. 1, 2, 3. Backtested your prior highs of that range. Because either when you reject here, you either expect to backtest the prior highs or backtest the value area high. It did the more bullish option, backtesting the prior highs, and now it's launching. Looking very, very good for continuation. Now we are at the golden pocket, our larger golden pocket here. And it's your naked weekly point of control. If we start to close daily candles above the golden pocket at, what is that, 354, I would expect continuation probably. Okay, this is an old daily. I need to get rid of that. That's an old daily. That was a nice back test of that daily and reject. Wow. Yeah. I mean, guys, we could come up to take out this high. We could come up to take out this high at 478. There is not a lot in here. See how all of this is no order blocks in here. Not a lot of liquid. We do have some liquidity up at 442 or 443-ish. But you break above this golden pocket, you have clear skies up to take out this high. Pretty clear skies up to 495 to 482. We do have one weekly resistance that's in between. So 389.7. Man, look at that weekly candle. Very bullish. On the weekly time frame, guys, on ICP, what did we see? Bull divs on the weekly time frame, money flow curving to the upside, multiple drives of bull div, money flow curving to the upside, crossing into the green. This thing could explode. And by the way, this could be just one of the, I mean, it could come up here, reject, back test, like kind of these range, the support resistance flip area in here, and then continue. So honestly, what I would say, and let's look at our daily time frame. How's our daily looking? Not really, no bear divs. Potential for bear divs if we roll over like right now. But with this daily, if this daily candle closes this bullishly, then it's going to invalidate the bull divs. Also, this push up of the last couple days, high spike in volume here. So you're at your very key resistance. I'm going to take this off the chart now. I'm going to take this guy off the chart now. We'll clean this up a little bit here, guys. What we're looking at is we're looking at the naked weekly point of control at golden pocket. If you reject here, there is still a chance of backtesting the value area high. Yeah, and we do have to be careful for rejection because you can see volume is now decreasing on these highs in here. You do have potential for 2-hour bear divs. You have potential for money flow bear divs on the 2-hour. But the way this looks on higher time frames, it's like long pullback zone. If you see a confirmed 3-wave corrective move, look for longs on those third. If we see a confirmed 3-wave move and we're coming into that value area high and you start to bounce and break local market structure, that's when you can look for some very nice longs opportunities, stops going below wherever the wicks is, you know, very nice long opportunities. Because the high time frames look bullish. Okay, let me get a drink of water, guys. All right. Giggle. All right, I have to look at that channel. I don't know what that. I guess I've done some TA on this a long time ago. Weekly level there. You have a nice little weekly support. This is a nice bullish engulfing candle on the weekly time frame. No bear divs are going to be well, actually, yeah, you'd have to get above this high to even look for bear divs. All right, that was this guy. That can go away. Yeah, I mean, very big downtrend here. I mean, you could even look at this whole downtrend channel. You were just trending down, resistance, resistance, flip to support, 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 support. You're trying to break out of this channel. You had one fake out. You fell back inside, but you were able to break out again. So actually, because we're starting to break out of this channel, you could see a rise to take out this high. I mean, I do have to say that this looked corrective in here. It looks like some sort of WXY correction because you start it, 3-wave move down, flat in here, one last move down here, some sort of WXY correction. So you're looking for continuation up. And let's see, that's an old daily level. Oops. I'll just delete those. We'll see now our new. Okay, yeah. Fresh naked monthly point of control. At 62.38, and you have liquidity into that naked monthly. Weeklies, it's also a naked weekly point of control. Very strong point of control there. I could 62.47. Pull to this guy. I don't like this high because it's the listing high. So I'm going to go with this high right here. And then we'll look at golden pocket, but we got to make sure it's on log. Okay, I want to get rid of this one. Let's look from this high. We've already rejected from this golden pocket. So from this high to the low, we rejected from golden pocket, small pullback, and now we're about to see continuation. We can now go from the next high. Yeah, all right. So the two key levels that I would be looking at above us are the liquidity grab into a naked monthly and a naked weekly point of control. Here. If you get above that, if you do not see the liquidity grab and a rejection, then you're likely, very, very likely to continue up to the weekly and golden pocket. Get above that, you could see a very nice rally. There is a daily level in here. There's a couple dailies in between, but there's not a lot. This liquidity into that naked weekly would definitely be a level I'm paying attention to. But yeah, we're breaking out of that descending channel. And if you're looking on like day trading, scalp trading this thing, you just play this range, play this sideways range. You're trying to break above POC now. If you do, you're very likely to come up to value area high. And I would even say, let's make that non-log. We'll make that non-log. Nah. Yeah, I would say one spot of a very local area, 786 into that liquidity. But if you do get up here, I would be expecting just to pull back to backtest value area high and then come up to your real resistance. So that's like an internal maybe scalp short just down to value area high. All right. Near. Yes. Okay, guys. Near is pumping and looking good. So here's what happened with Near. We were in this range, this sideways range for quite some time, very nicely, rejecting value area high, rejecting the bottom of the pitchfork band, rejecting value area high, rejecting the bottom of the pitchfork band. We rotated all the way down to the value area low. We bounced from value area low, and look at this thing rocket. It rocketed straight up, and I talked about this earlier this week. I think it was on Tuesday I talked about this. Rocketed above. We did grab liquidity. We saw a small SFP here, right? But that liquidity grab only gave us a pullback to backtest the pitchfork band. We backtested the pitchfork band. We're holding, and now we're making new highs. So I think this is likely to continue pushing up. The next major level I've got on this thing is coming up to the SFP at the top of the bearish pitchfork, 189-ish. And you do have a daily level up there as well. But look at, there's not a lot in here to keep us from coming up. You have a couple, you have this daily level near the liquidity. So I would say that, and that's near the top of your pitchfork. So this is the real next big resistance where we could pump up to 185 to 189. You do have another daily that is sitting at 175, but you probably, if you're going to come up there, you're probably just going to get a small pullback and then continuation. Yeah, no weekly levels. And then here's the big thing with Near. We've been chopping in this descending bearish pitchfork, right? Pulled from the highs of the cycle all the way. We've been chopping down inside of it. Rejection from it, bounce from the midline, rejection from the upper band, bounce from the bottom band, small rejection from midline. We're flipping it. Now we're flipping the upper band to support. It is very likely to come up to 189, guys. Very, very likely to come up to 189. Well, what is that 189? Your previous major range. This major range here that lasted like what, a year or so? Let's see here. Yeah, almost a year long, that range. So that was an important range. It broke down. You rejected from value area high, you rejected from the top of the pitchfork, and then you broke it down. But now we can come to see if we're going to backtest that range value area low, because what's going to happen is if we come up here, we do backtest that value area low in confluence with your golden pocket and you reject, you would probably expect to form a lower range, a new fair value zone for Near down here. So you'd expect pretty much a major rejection. If you can get back inside of that range, you're going to push. You're going to push very far. Probably up to this 355, 364 zone, which is still valid resistance right now as we speak. So major zones, 185 to 189. The next major zone of resistance is going to be value area low golden pocket, which is 207 to like 220. But I mean, we do have some bear divs, right? From this high to our new high, we now have a very nice bearish, like this has to come up a little bit higher, but a very nice bearish divergence. What I would expect is we're probably going to push up to 189, guys, or 185 to 189, the top of this pitchfork. But if we come up here and we have these continued bear divs all the way here, it's going to see a harsh rejection from here, and we're probably going to get an aggressive dump. Locally, on lower time frames, we are starting to develop bear divs. You can see bear divs already confirmed on the 1 hour. Bear divs here, 1 hour. Money flow potential for bear divs. 4 hour, same thing. Some bear divs. Some bear divs already confirmed. And then let's look at the 8 hour. Bear divs confirmed on NAMI. Your RSI and stochastic RSI are pegged out in the oversold. And let's see, where are we hitting? All right, so you already did hit that golden pocket right here. A big pullback. 786 is pretty much at 167. We need to make sure this is on log scale, actually. Yeah, that's why we're starting to see some rejection, guys. We're at the 786 right now with bear divs on the 4 hour and under. So what we could see here, and look at the back test of that golden pocket is going to be at the value area high. When you break a golden pocket bullishly, sometimes it will flip to support. So we could see a rejection from where we're at now. If we roll down and we see us bounce from this, like grabbing the liquidity from yesterday's low into the pitchfork and the value area low, that's our local support now. Right here, local support now. And that is where we could look for a very nice long up to 185. If we break through this today and close our daily candle above the 786, we're probably going to not even see a pullback. We're probably going to continue straight up. Yeah, but you do have bear divs here. Bear div, bear div, bear div. So I think with us seeing 4 hour and under bear divs, we need to really watch for this liquidity grab at 145. I'm going to set an alert here in SFP. SFP long, guys. If we SFP 145 into 142, I will be looking for a long on this thing. And I will let you guys know in the Telegram. If you guys want to join the Telegram, remember, all you got to do is join BYDFI using my affiliate link in the description. Deposit the minimum deposit of $100 or more. Once you've done that, you click the Telegram link in the description of the video, and in the Telegram, type in /verify and then your BYDFI user ID. That'll get you into the Telegram. And I will let you guys know on all these altcoins we're trading, on all the alerts that I'm setting. If I do decide to enter a trade, I will let you guys know in the Telegram. Yeah, it looks like we haven't quite actually hit the 786 yet, so you might continue until you actually hit it. Like you might very, very locally, I mean, on like in the next 2 hours, 159.3. So I would, yeah, I would just be careful for a pullback from 159.3. Actually, yeah, 159.3. Okay, Rune, we can check Rune. Rune USD T. Is there a Binance? Yeah, Binance. There we go. Okay. Well, right now I can tell you on the weekly time frame, we're coming up to a very important backtest. Look at the last time we backtested this pitchfork. Backtest, new local low. Backtest, new local low. If we backtest and reject, you would expect a new low. So very, very important for Rune right now on the weekly time frame. Actually, let's pull that to right there. Yeah. Also, there is a weekly resistance level at that backtest, or in very close confluence with that backtest. That weekly has been hit. Okay. Man, yeah, we're gonna continue up. You're definitely at a zone of resistance. You have the bearish backtest to the pitchfork and the weekly level, so it's like a zone, right? It's this kind of zone you're coming up to right now. But this looks pretty impulsive. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we might only get a small pullback. Let's see, because if it's an A, B, C, you're rejecting. You're coming to make new lows. Let's pull our trend-based Fibonacci extinction. Oh yeah, and you're pretty much at your one. You're hitting above the 1.618, which makes it more likely to be an impulse. Contracting diagonal in a wave 1, pull back in a wave 2. You got your 3 in progress right now. You do have potential daily bear divs. Money flow looks pretty good, but I would be watching just a little bit higher, guys. About, what is this? 61.6 to 64 cents. And you can see in your third wave, you had a huge spike in volume in the third wave. And now you're continuing that third wave, but your volume is getting lower and lower now here. So third wave could be coming to an end up here. On the other hand, let's pull our volume profile after that big crash that happened here. That was in February or October of 2025. We can pull after that big crash this price action. Yes, see, value area low, value area low, value area low. We could come up to value area high, and there is liquidity there as well. So that would be the next zone of resistance, is this. 67.5 to like 69 cents, let's say. I'll set an SFP short alert, because if we do come up here, reject there in the third wave, we could get a pullback in the fourth wave to backtest the pitchfork, and then continuation to take this liquidity in the fifth wave. So we could look for a scalp short here to take down to here, and then when we get to here, we could look for a long to take up to this area. Very nice, actually. If we break back inside the pitchfork, guys, there is a very, very real chance that we backtest. We come to backtest the value area low of our bigger upper range. Value area low at 98 cents, and it would be in pretty close confluence with this pitchfork band. But you are coming up to resistances, so be careful. You're not quite there yet, but you're coming up to them. Honestly, I think you're very high probability you get up to either one of these two. Okay, let me check the chat. I'm going to scroll all the way to the bottom. Bitcoin's rolling over. Okay. Not really. I mean, it's still chopping within this triangle, but we are starting to break out of this channel. So watch the back test of the value area high. If you back test this, not value, VWAP. If you back test the VWAP and you hold it, you might see the true breakout this time. If you fall back inside the channel, you're probably going to drop and take out the lows. 79.4. Let's go to order flow. Man, but yeah, I like this actually. We are starting to see a decrease in open interest, but you are seeing some bullish CVD divergence at least. You know, from this low, you can see how we have higher lows on the price action, lower lows on the CVD, bullish CVD divergences. Now, from that low, it's on a decrease in open interest, but even more locally, we were seeing, from this low, we were seeing some bullish absorption. Remember, bullish absorption, you can still see pullbacks. You just don't want to take out, now we don't want to take out this. That could invalidate the bullish absorption. Yeah, Arbitrum, we can look at Arbitrum. Arb USD. So ignore all these levels up here, guys, but you can see on Arbitrum on the weekly chart, very nice descending channel that we've been in. Right? Rejected the midline. You lost the channel. We've now re-entered back inside the channel. That means there's a real chance we could come to the midline of this channel. So let's now mark out some levels. This weekly resistance at 25.7, 20 cents, pretty much 20.5 cents. We have a support. Now that's actually not confirmed yet. Sorry, that's our weekly. We do have a very nice bullish engulfing weekly candle as of now. There's not much besides this little bit of order block and daily level in here to keep us from coming all the way up to the weekly. I will pull a Fibonacci from our last range highs to the lows. That's on log scale, okay. I don't like the lack. There's not much you always got to watch golden pockets, guys. Always. Yeah, 62% drop. We have to use a log golden pocket there. Man, naked monthly point of control at this weekly level, guys. Very strong. 20 cents to 20.5 to like 21 cents is a very strong level. And then, yep. And then we have right on top of your daily, you have a naked weekly point of control. And then right above it too, you have a naked weekly point of control. So we have a zone in here. Unfortunately, your golden pocket is not really aligning with anything, and same with the kind of the 786 in here. Let me just check something. I know that you should be using a non-log golden pocket, but if we take this off of log, yeah, okay. I mean, guys, we have our zones. We have our zones here. We have this zone in here. So from like 17 cents to like 18 cents, 17 to 18 cents is a big zone. And then our next big zone is like 20 to 21 cents, 20 and a half to 21 cents. You have your 786, you have your channel midline, you have your weekly level, you have a naked monthly point of control. Those are your big resistances above us. What do we see here, guys? This was our range. We broke out of the range. We back tested the value area high of the range, and then we're rocketing. This is very likely to continue probably up to this area of 17 to 18 cents. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen today or tomorrow. I'm saying it's going to happen probably over the next week to 2 weeks, 17 to 18 cents. We could even pull our trend-based Fibonacci extinction looking for an ABC correction. Yeah, okay. Guys, look at this. I mean, like, how nice is this? So in a three-wave ABC, your 1-to-1 target is in your first box. Your 1.236 target is in your second box. These are definitely your zones. Definitely your zones to be looking for rejections. And I would have to say the bullish possibility could get, because this is an impulse. Look at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Impulse in a wave A or a wave 1. 3-wave corrective pullback in a B or a 2. So now we're looking for an impulse within C. It's either going to end here or here. If it's going to be a wave 3, then it's going to push up through those and probably, let's see where our 1-to-1 is at. Yeah, it's going to take out all of these highs. So you can see we have these range highs at your 1.618. So now we have our zones, guys. If we reject from one of the first 2 purple boxes, this could be an ABC correction where you come down to make new lows. ABC correction, come down to make new lows. If it is a impulse 1, 2, 3, you're probably going to come down to the midline for 4, and then you're probably going to come up and maybe even come up to the top of the channel for a 5. But we have our zones. We have all of our zones to be looking at. Actually, this has super nice confluence, man. I'm setting some alerts here. We have some super nice confluences to be looking at. Look at, we rejected, that was a purple box I had on the chart. We rejected that. Golden pocket perfectly. Dumpage. Yeah, and those are still fresh naked dailies and dailies up there at the top of your channel. Yeah, no worries, Jojo. I guess I'm really zoomed out right now because I'm looking at altcoins. But yeah, it was a bit of a pullback. Watch the VWAP, man. If VWAP bounces us, we could see a move up to 81.6, 81.7. Okay, I gotta keep going on these altcoins. Let's see, XRP. I will do XRP. I did do ICP already, so if you scroll back in the live stream, you can see ICP. Let's see. Okay, I did Rune. I did Near. I'm just trying to go through this list, guys. Please hit the like button for me, guys, if you like this live stream today where we're going through some more macro targets on the altcoins. we will try to get into trades as well. I'm setting a lot of alerts. And if you guys are in the Telegram, it might not happen today, but if you're in the Telegram, we have the potential for getting into some really nice trades. Okay, we did Rune, we did Near. Z, or was that? I just saw it. ZBCN. Yeah, you're trying to break out of this descending channel on the weekly time frame. You're in this descending channel. You're trying to break out. So you're in the back test right now. If you back test and hold, I would expect at least to come up to sweep some liquidity of this pivot, 00529. And then let's see here. Yeah, and that's also a weekly level. A fresh weekly that has not been tapped. Yeah. 0053 pretty much. 52953. This looks pretty corrective, guys. We have to watch out for, look at how nice this channel was respected. Rejected, 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 break above, flip to support, push up to the top. If you're attempting to break out here now, and depending on what happens on this back test, you could see continuation. I would say you're probably going to see continuation up to this weekly level at the very least. Sweeping the second pivot of the channel, or actually that's the third pivot. This is the second pivot, but very nice channel here. Very nice corrective move on the weekly time frame. We can pull our volume profile of this weekly correction. Yeah, we have our POC and our, man, guys, this is great confluence on this as well. ZCBN, definite resistance here. This is going to be value area high, weekly, and SFP. Short trade from there. Possible short. And what we could see is if we do break out and we SFP that, we could just back test and then continue. But that could be still a very nice short trade. Now, as far as our lower time frames go, our back test of the lower time frame, zooming into this range, you can see our POC was not quite hit yet, or it was pretty much hit, but not quite. We're getting a little pullback, but this pullback does look corrective. What I would say is we could be in three-wave move. I don't even know if this looks, you could see a three-wave move here and then another three-wave move. It does kind of look like we want to come take out this low, but what I would be playing on this 4-hour time frame is looking at this range. Okay, you're at value area low. If you start to lose value area low, you are going to come down and take out that low. 0298. Yeah, and then your golden pocket's going to be at value area high and you have some liquidity. So very locally, this correction could continue for a bit because you had the 4-hour bear divs in here. 4-hour bear divs in here, followed by a hidden bear div. So this grind sideways and down could continue a little bit. I would be watching for, this is for scalping this thing. You have liquidity into your golden pocket. Okay, this could be a scalp short. And then if you get above that, I would expect to take out this high into that resistance, into the POC. So this could be a nice little short. I honestly, if we start to break up though on this back test, it's not likely we get that. It's likely we continue up to the weekly. So I'll mark it out, but very careful, be very careful trading that. You can see as we're correcting right now on this 4-hour descending channel, volume is decreasing, meaning it's more likely to be a corrective move. So let's hide the local TA. Let me put that box here. And we can pull a local channel. Yeah. And look at where the back test of the value area high is at the bottom of your channel. So if you do kind of continue to bleed down here, you're probably going to bleed down to the bottom of the channel and the back test here. 02635. Weekly on NAMI was printing bull divs. Money flows just crossing into the green. Two-day is oversold, and you're seeing money flow come out. You're seeing money flow about to cross into the red here. The big thing, guys, is if we're going to break out of this channel, you're probably going to at least come up here, but you're most likely going to sweep all of this. You might do something like this, and then sweep the rest of it. If we do start to really fall back inside the channel, you're probably going to get the back test from this value area low, come back up inside the channel, and then see a bigger drop. But just as we do the live streams, guys, just keep asking about the altcoins that you're interested in. If you want to see what happens with ZCBN over the next couple months, just, you know, ask about it in the chat when we're doing the live streams, Mark. Okay. Hi, Ryan. Solana never retraced to 85 for us to take along. It pumped. Yeah, we covered Solana earlier. We're looking for it to pump to about 83.8 today. 83.8 is that naked weekly point of control and liquidity. You're right. We didn't pump down there. I was hoping we would get a pump. We just consolidated here and pushed up. Now I'm still in my long from 81.54 on, it's my smaller account on MEXC, but I did not get in. Actually, I longed this one on MEXC as well. It was an SFP into a naked daily. But now I'm obviously not looking for longs where we're at now. The first thing I would look for is a short from here. Because we are starting to develop some bear divs here. So if we come up here, I would look for a potential short just to back test the value area high. So I'd take out at least 75% profit when we came down to 89.2, 89.1. Yeah, ICP is pumping hard. We just covered ICP. XRP, did we cover XRP? Okay, XRP, guys, it's just chopping in this triangle, this sideways range, in this triangle that we covered yesterday. We did bounce from the golden pocket, and now we're pushing up. It looks pretty nicely impulsive for today. You can see like nice green candles all day. You have to be careful. If you pull your Fibonacci from this high to this low, your 786 is at the POC of the range. And the POC, now that we rejected value area high, we lost POC. If we bearishly backtest and reject, then you expect to move down to value area low, or to the bottom of the triangle, right? So we do have some levels on it here. We have that liquidity grab into the value area low. That is obviously going to be a support level. This I can get rid of now because we've already bounced from that. And very similar, we have this uptrend in here, right? Uptrend in here. And then now it looks like we're forming a corrective range, a corrective channel. The move down that we saw was a three-wave move down. That's what you look for in triangles anyway. So three-way move down. That was probably the golden pocket that we rejected from. Let me see. Yeah, so it was golden pocket value area high. So what did I just say, guys, about channels? If you have a high and then you reject from a lower high golden pocket, throw a channel on it, and then bring it down to that first initial low. Here's our channel. I'll make it pink. If you break above the POC at 142.9, you could come up to that top of the channel and reject that again. But, and because it's going to be close to value area high and that liquidity. But if we reject here, I would expect to move down to the bottom of the channel, right? You reject here, you're expecting to move down towards the bottom of the channel, towards that value area low and liquidity grab. Man, XRP is doing nothing. On the daily time frame, geez, this thing does... Yeah, your daily money flows in the green, but it's kind of slowly rounding off. And same with your momentum wave. You're topped out on NAMI. You're curving down. I see more consolidation for XRP. I think this is going to continue to consolidate. Like, XRP is weird, guys. XRP will consolidate for very, very long periods sideways and then see massive pushes. Consolidate very, very long sideways, massive dumps, you know? Yeah, so I would just be looking at this range of the last 3 months. This range in here. You did see bull divs on the weekly, here to here. Money flow's about to cross up into the green on NAMI. It is moving up on Market Cipher B. What I would be watching, the fake out, right? The fake out of the triangle to grab liquidity, and then you could drop again. And then form that tap 1, tap 2, tap 3. Accumulation zone. And that will obviously take some time. XRP looks boring. Okay, ZEC, yes, ZEC has been awesome. I long 309. Daily time frame. Guys, we are looking on ZEC potentially to come up to $700. 700, 680, 690 to 700. ZEC, we were looking from the low here, from this low, at a potential impulse. Wave 1, wave 2, your wave 3 came right up to the 1.618. You pulled back in a wave 4 right to the 0.5. And now we're in our 5th and final wave. But look at, so from this low, which is about where I longed at, we're looking for one last impulse, a wave 5 impulse. Okay, can we see something here? 1, 2, pulled back to golden pocket. Clearly a 3. If we get a pullback now, 4, 5. If we keep going, then we have to readjust that fib. But we're clearly in a wave 3. Look at volume increasing on the move to the upside here. We were seeing some bear divs. Money flow. Look at the money flow on ZEC, guys. I mean, yeah, this thing is likely to, we're inside this small little range. And actually, I would even just pull this. You're starting to break out a value area high. I think you're at least going to come grab the highs from yesterday, or what was that, Wednesday, 606. You're likely to come up there. But right now, if we do decide to drop, your wave 4 targets, 495 to 462, or 496 to 462. This move down, three-wave corrective move. Could you see a three-wave corrective move to take out the high and then another three-wave corrective move down? Yes. This range is actually likely to, if the wave 3 is over, if the wave 3 ended, because look at, you got your massive spike in volume here, and then you made one more new high on decreasing volume. So the wave 3 could have been finished right here. So if we're looking for a wave 4 pullback, you want your wave 4 pullback to take about as long or a little bit longer than this guy. By the way, we looked for shorts here and we looked to add to the long here. So what we're looking at is a pullback of about 5 days, about 5 days. Maybe through the weekend, you know, well, first I would expect us to continue up, grab that high, you know, maybe over the weekend, see a move down into mid next week. If the wave 3 is going to continue, I would expect it to continue up to around $690 to $700. I'll set an alert on ZEC on our high from Wednesday. If we get the SFP of this high, I might look for a short off of that. I would want to see a confirmed SFP with bear divs because I'm not trying to short a rocket. Okay, let me get a drink of water here, guys. All right. Yeah, Jojo, much love to you as well, man. Thank you for being here. Cyrogerm, near, we just covered near. I think near is likely to go up to 185 to 189, but we are at the 786. Oh, we're breaking it. Okay, wow. So near, we're coming up to that 786 Fibonacci. We were finding some resistance there, but long story short with near, we bounced from the value area low. We broke out of the range. We had a small SFP. We back tested the pitchfork band. And now look at continuation. By the way, I said yesterday that it's likely to continue. I think we're coming up to 189. I mean, there's not much in here, guys, to keep us from coming. You have a daily level at 175 where you could see a bit of a cool off, but I think this thing is coming up. Should you buy altcoin spot right now? Dogan, I would not be buying spot. I would be waiting for some sort of cool off, some pullback. It depends on your strategy. Okay, first off, we are on, like, look at near. You're near the lows of this coin. So if you're in a long-term strategy, you should buy near the lows, right? But that's like long-term because some of these altcoins will never recover. I personally won't be buying near after a pump of, you know what? Let's see how much this was. In the past week, we have pumped 28%. So I am not buying after a 28% pump. I'll wait for a local pullback and then I would buy. Or if you're comfortable buying now, you got to be comfortable that if it rejects and drops down, you know, 20, 30%, you got to be comfortable with that. Some of the good, you know, Avalanche, I would be buying if I had long-term Avalanche holding, if I had the expectation to hold Avalanche long-term, you're in an accumulation zone. I would be buying this, but I would be buying this with a long-term hold, thinking that we can get up to $15, $16 or, you know, $24, $25. On Atom was another one that we were looking at. Say, I just bought some Say. Actually, I bought some Say down and way down here, guys. Say is looking so nice for, it's at all-time lows, you know, but now we've been trending in this ascending channel for a few weeks now, and we're coming up towards a very important bearish backtest. So I'm not buying Say right now, but what you could do is for Say, let's let's say that you break into this pitchfork band and you back test it, you could buy some on the back test if it holds. Now you're going to say, wait, Divine Hood, that's higher than where you're buying it now. I would rather buy it a little bit higher and have confidence that we're getting back into a bullish trend. Because if we come up here and reject, you're likely to continue down to take out this low, or at least come down to golden pocket. So for me, that's, yeah, as far as buying altcoins. Aptos, yes, we can look at Aptos. I know Aptos was another one that was pumping. Aptos, USD. Wow, dude, this thing is breaking. And look at Aptos is doing what Tau did. That descending channel, you bounce from the bottom of the channel, you're breaking. Now you're hitting some pretty key levels here, guys. On that, you're at the 0.382, which is your wave 4 corrective move. It's the liquidity grab of the highs of the range. So far, we're not seeing a liquidity grab, and we pumped straight through that resistance we looked at yesterday. That's why I don't, well, actually, we did get a small rejection from that resistance. We got a rejection. We came down to POC. We bounced, and now we're breaking through. So, yeah, actually, that worked for Scalp there. Naked Daily didn't have any effect. We are just pushing, and we're breaking out of this channel, guys. If we're breaking out of this channel, the one thing you got to watch out for is a daily SFP. So we're at the 112.5 highs. If we do end up closing the daily candle below 112.43, you could see a pullback to back test value area high at 103.5. If we break out of this channel and close the daily above this zone of the 382 and the liquidity of the range highs, it's like every other range breakout we've been seeing. We just saw a big range breakout on near, and it continued. We just saw a big breakout on ICP, it continued. We just saw a big breakout on a bunch of coins, they continued. So we're breaking out of this range today with high volume, a big imbalance candle, big bullish engulfing candle here. You can see how this value area high, resistance, 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 failed auction, resistance, 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 finally break out. If we close above these highs here, we will see continuation. And in that scenario, let's look. Weekly time frame, man, we don't have any. Guys, this thing could get aggressive because there is not much in here. There is not much in here to keep us from really pushing. What I would pull is our golden pocket from the last weekly high to our low. We're going to make sure that's on log scale. Okay, that already right now I see 140 to 145 is important. Why is that important? Because look at, it's also a support resistance flip. That was a support that gave you 3 weeks of upside. 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks of upside. So it is an important support resistance flip, 140 to 145. And then we have a daily level at the 786 Fibonacci. You have this big fair value gap right into this. So this little bit of consolidation in here, that's a daily order block. This could give us a little bit of resistance, this daily order block right here. But if you get above that daily order block, this fair value gap is going to suck you quickly up to 140, very quickly up to 140. So big levels above us. Well, obviously golden pocket's going to be a level. Support resistance flip. I'll just do this right here. You can see how that's a support resistance flip into your golden pocket, 145-ish. We have, let's look at our naked monthly points of controls. Oh, yeah. Okay, naked monthly. We also have a naked monthly down here at 87 cents, which is nice, but we're not looking to come down there right now. Naked weeklies. Okay, you do have a naked weekly point of control inside of that order block. Guys, that makes that order block very important. That makes that order block very, very important. 126.5, 126.5 cents. And then look at, you have a naked weekly where that naked monthly is as well. So super nice volume resistance at 156, really. All right, and that's pretty much it, guys. There's not a lot in here. So you have your daily order block from here to here. So that's a zone. This is your order block zone. I don't have a drawing template. Well, let's just do this. Let's make that. Oops. We'll make it yellow. Okay, this is your order block into your naked weekly point of control. That's your first major resistance above. Remember, we have to close the daily above this range high. If we break above that, or what we could see is a small rejection to back test this channel, and then continuation up to your support resistance flip golden pocket. The biggest level of resistance above us is this box here, 786 daily level, naked weekly, naked monthly point of control. Those are your big zones on Aptos to look for rejections. Mark Dutch, welcome in, my friend. Dude, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate that. Yes, Ondo, dude, did you get that? Mark, let me show you something. Ondo pushed right up to that level we were looking at yesterday. That our purple box, right? The weekly level, but it's the 1.618. It's the daily level, and just above we have the liquidity. But very nicely, man. 1, 2. This is clearly a 3. Look at this coming up. Or even if it's an ABC, your impulse and your C wave. But what I see here still, 1, 2, 3. We still need, even if we get a pullback here, 4, 5. Even if it's a C wave, your third wave is not done within the C wave. So we might come up, we might get a small pullback over the weekend and then come up in SFP this high into 0.5 to finish this third wave or this C wave. But it's awesome that you caught that, man. That's really cool. I'm going to get rid of this daily now because we just pumped straight through it. I mean, very awesome, dude. That, yeah, Ondo has been looking nice. And I have to say, very nice spike in volume here. And remember, in the bearish scenario on Ondo, we're really looking to reject relatively soon here, because if this is a larger 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we would look for a rejection around that 0.5 Fibonacci, 0.382. We passed the 382. This is our zone, right? This is our zone. If we break above this and hit the golden pocket, the log golden pocket at 59 cents, 59.7, it invalidates it. It makes this more likely to be a confirmed 3-wave move to the downside that's complete. And now we're about to see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then pullback, and then continuation. So super nice on Ondo. But that's, thank you so much for the super chat, Mark. That's super nice of you, man. Awesome, dude. Yeah. Thank you for the kisses and flowers too. Archie TV, yeah, we'll do CRV. Awesome. Banked 6 months Italy today. Dude, that is freaking awesome, man. Mark Dux, that is awesome. Well, I'd love to hear this. I love to hear when the TA that we do on the channel is helpful to people. Okay, we were going to do CRV USD. Wow, I don't even know what's going on in here. Let me just... Let me zoom in for a second to see what I was doing in here. Okay, we didn't get, we could have still got continuation here, but that is kind of an idea we were looking at that didn't play out. I mean, it's still kind of in process, but get rid of that. Breaking above. We did see a small rejection from this golden pocket. And it was, yeah, golden pocket, but it just gave you a small pullback and then continuation. We are coming up to value area high, 786, and it's your 1.618 trend-based Fibonacci extinction as well. So in other words, resistance incoming. And let me make sure it's right on the value area. So we're hitting into value area high. I would look at taking that liquidity above. This does look very choppy and overlappy, but look at the structure of it. It's starting to look parabolic here. This could continue. If we start to close the daily candle above 26 cents, let's say, we're very likely to continue up to take out your range highs at 27.43. Let's go into the weekly time frame now. Let's look at the weekly time frame. Yeah, and overall on curve, we're coming into that 1-to-1 in that 1.236. So we were looking at this as a potential ABC in here. Yes, ABC. So we came down to the 1.236. We're starting to see a accumulation range build here, but we have to be careful. We did see weekly bull divs on NAMI, but those weekly bull divs played out with this high that came up to 26 cents. Now we are seeing a second drive of bull divs on the weekly. You can see here, we have those bull divs on the weekly. And market cipher, green dot, bottomed out, money flow curving to the upside. We also have bull divs on the money flow on NAMI here. So it could say that this is going to be a true range breakout. Let's go down to the daily again. All right, and at the day, so yeah, be careful where we're at now. If we get above that, it's very likely we take this, but we have to be careful for this being a more of an accumulation zone. So you don't want to be looking for swing longs right now, right? Because it could reject. If you want to look for swing longs, say we come up here, we reject the SFP, and then we start to bounce from the value area high, you could look for a backtest bounce trade where you long the bounce, you're short. What the heck happened there? Your stop goes below that low, and then you look at coming up towards this value area low of the next range. And that is a good 8.5 to 1 risk to reward ratio. But I would be waiting because we have our upper range in here. We broke it down with a high amount of volume. Broke it down with a high amount of volume. And now we're starting to form what looks like an accumulation range in here. We did see a super, super nice SFP of the lows, guys. And this could be our tap 1. This could be our tap 2. We could come all the way up, grab this liquidity, come down to value area low. That could be your tap 3. That could be your accumulation range right there. And then you see expansion. That expansion is likely to bring us at least to backtest the value area low and the naked weekly. But if we expand back up inside this volume profile, we're looking to come up to your POC at 50 cents, pretty much 51 cents. Let's pull our Fibonacci retracement. Oh, let me just, I don't know what. There we go. I'm going to hide this larger trend-based Fibonacci extinction now. We're going to pull from our last big daily high down to your low. Let me get rid of that. We're going to look at Hold on. We got to look at Golden Pocket 786. Now, our non-log Golden Pocket is coming in at the backtest of the value area low. That is super important, 36.8. You should be using a log Golden Pocket there, and your 786 is going to be close by that naked weekly, that zone. This Golden Pocket's also important because, once again, look at support resistance flip. It is your support resistance flip here. Support, support. So now it could act as resistance. So now we have those levels above us. And if we start to break out of this high and not see an SFP of 2743, you don't have much. You do have a daily level in here. And this daily order block, you actually, yeah, you haven't entered the order block yet. So be careful, because that order block there is still untapped, and the daily level's the top of the order block, 28.8. And if we are going to form bigger accumulation, tap 2, we could even come all the way up to 28.8 and then pull back and see that tap 3. Tap 1, tap 2, tap 3, accumulation, and then you get your expansion. So that is kind of what I would be looking at, Archie. Now, money flow on the daily time frame looks pretty good, but you are starting to get pretty oversold, and you do have potential for bear divs developing on NAMI on the daily, and as well as daily bear divs on money flow here. You can see on the money flow, you have potential for some daily bear divs. So just be careful, because you are at resistance. If, hold on, let me get rid of that. You are at resistance. We can look at, actually, let's do this first. Our naked monthly points of controls. It's way up at 42.6. I'm not going to mark that out yet. Very, very important, guys. Look at such nice confluence. Naked weekly point of control at your Golden Pocket. Important support resistance flip. We also have another naked weekly around your value area low. This naked weekly is old. I'll get rid of that. So we have our zones. Naked weekly 786, value area low of your upper range. And remember, if you start to form accumulation here, you're at least likely to backtest that value area low. If you reject it, yeah, you might come back down. If you get back inside of it, you're likely to flip it and continue up to POC. You could see a real breakout here, guys. That SFP down there was super freaking, I wish I was watching that. Careful, you're at resistance. Let me make sure. Oh, actually, now that we've pulled this all the way, wow, you're actually breaking out of resistance. It's still a resistance because it's still liquidity into a 786. If you pull it from your range high to range low, it is still your 786 Fibonacci. And it's at the SFP. You do have some bear divs on the chart on the hourly. Locally on NAMI, potentially not confirmed. Money flow bear divs, 1, 2, let's see, is that? No, actually not money flow bear divs. Sorry, guys, about that. Let's go to our 4-hour. 4-hour does have potential for bear divs. Money flow looks really bullish, so I wouldn't be shorting against one drivable divs. Your stochastic RSI and RSI are pegged out at the oversold region. Let's go to the 8-hour. I want to look at that 8-hour money flow. Money flow looks pretty good here, but you are developing potential bear divs. So watch for a pullback from the SFP. If you don't get the SFP, you're going to continue up to this one. Like, no doubt about it. If you get the confirmed SFP, what I would look for, if we come up here, we SFP this, you could look for a back test of value area high. If it holds, you're coming up to either SFP this or up to your daily. I will set alerts. And in the Telegram, I will let you guys know if I decide to take the trade, if I'm awake, obviously. But it's looking super nice, guys. Guys, please do hit the like button if you like these live streams where we go through the altcoins. Please just like the video if you got any sort of insight into the market from these live streams. Let's check out Bitcoin very, very quickly. So yeah, we're just chopping. We're just chopping. We have this descending channel on the hourly chart that does look more corrective. Our low from yesterday is still intact. What I would say is the bullish absorption. We're seeing some slight bullish absorption from this low here. Higher lows in the price action, lower lows in the CVD. And I guess right now, it's not absorption anymore. It's too flat. This is too flat here, but it's bullish CVD divergence that we're seeing. So we could see this triangle break soon. Actually, I would say it's like this to this to this, and we're already attempting to break it. Yeah, I think, guys, and let's total 3. Man, oh, this is total 2. So this excludes Bitcoin and includes Ethereum. If we look at the total 3 chart, I think that we are going to, I don't know why it does that. Let me, see, it's on the highs on the 4-hour, but when you go zoom into the daily, it doesn't. I would be watching for that 771 billion, but it looks like we're coming up there. It looks like we're coming up there. Breaking out of the value area high, resistance, resistance, failed auction, resistance, failed auction, resistance, 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 break above. What if we, it looks like clear skies above. Look at the bullish money flow. You are starting to develop bear divs, but not confirmed on Market Cipher, not confirmed on NAMI. 8-hour time frame, bullish money flow. You do have potential bear divs forming on the 8-hour, but I think it's likely that we work our way up at least to take out that high. The big test here on the on total 3 chart is the back test of this value area low, right? This was super nice, guys. We longed the crap out of altcoins here. So yeah, I would be really watching for, oops. Oh, wow. Okay. This is shifted. If we're looking at all of this as a range, the value area low is now below us. We are above the POC of the range. Very, very interesting. I would still consider pulling a range of just this upper price action as well. So yeah, watch us coming up to 809 billion. It's a support resistance flip. It's that back test of this upper range. But if we look at including this in it, we're bouncing from value area low. We're reclaiming the POC. And look at our rally that we've been in for the last 2 weeks. Break above POC, 3-wave corrective move to back test POC, new highs. I mean, it looks juicy. So actually, I'll do this. I'll set here. That is going to be our value area low of our previous range. And then I will hide that. Yeah, you had weekly bull divs from this low to this low on NAMI. They're playing out, crossing into the green on money flow, crossing into the green on money flow. Geez, guys, this looks nice. And actually, we can even pull a range looking at all of this price action, this upper price action in here. This wick does kind of throw a wrench into things, but if we're looking at this move down, this is a potential flat, an A wave down, a B flat where you take out the highs of A, and then you have your C wave down where you take out the lows, and we did take out the lows. If you look at those lows, we took them out. So very, very, very nice there. Actually, yeah, because you could, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or you might have to look at a double 1, 2 in here. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then this would all have to be 5 in here. You do have this nice 3-wave corrective move up, and then this is kind of hard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but you do have overlap. It would have to be some sort of contract. I don't know. That's a little bit of a hard one to count. What I would say is our most current range is this upper flat, right in here. So initial drop, take the liquidity of the highs, take the liquidity of the lows. Are we about to see that big move up? Oop. So this is the volume profile I would pay attention to most. Let's pull a Fibonacci golden pocket from our last weekly high to the weekly low. Yes. Okay, guys. That golden pocket is going to be the back test of that value area low. If we don't include that, if we just look at this, well, at least it was when you were on the daily time frame. Let's see here. Yeah. Yeah. So golden pocket, either way, that golden pocket's going to be important. So coming up, the liquidity of the highs above, and then golden pocket on total 3. Okay, guys. I do got to get, I've been live for 3 hours. I have some stuff I got to get to. Let me see. I'll do 5 to 10 more minutes. I'm sorry. I forgot about Turbo. I'll do these quickly. Okay, guys. Turbo USD. John, I know you asked for this at the beginning. Turbo is coming up to a weekly level. We did get a breakout of the value area high of the range. Let me get rid of this now. We don't need to look at that anymore. Breaking out of value area high. We're coming up to a fresh weekly. I believe it's a fresh weekly. Let me double check. No, it's not. It was this weekly. So get rid of it. Weekly. Guys, please hit the like button if you like these 3-hour live streams and where we try to cover a lot of stuff. Let me know in the chat if you like them. Oh, CRV's hitting something. CRV, USD. Okay, we're hitting that liquidity on CRV right now. If you get the drop in loss, you might look to like for a scalp short down to value area high at 25 cents. Let's come in here and see if we get something here. It doesn't look like it wants to quit. Money flow looks pretty good here. No real bear divs. Yeah, I would be wary of taking this SFP. Turbo. Okay, so for Turbo, John, it looks like we are going to continue up. I would really be looking at taking out that high at around 00148. You do have a fresh daily level that's just above that. And if we look at our, well, let's do naked weekly first. Yeah, 2 naked weeklies in there. Definitely a zone. Definitely a zone to be looking. I bet you there's probably a naked monthly in there. No. But the SFP of this high into this cluster of volume and time frame resistance, 15 to 15.5, is where I would be looking for this thing to push up to. Okay, you're getting that wick. I would personally want to see a 15-minute candle close. With how bullish this is, I would wait for a 15-minute candle close. If it closes on the 15 under, this is what you can do, guys. On the 15-minute, you are going to be looking for the short, and you might have to put it somewhere down here. Stop goes above that high, and I would be targeting VWAP or value area high. Pretty much, if you start dropping here, your VWAP is going to start kind of curving down too, so it's going to be at 25 cents. But the way this is looking to me, I would take at least 75% out here and move my stop to break even. If it even plays out. It might not even play out. We might just keep going. You do have some 15-minute bear divs or potential bear divs, but money flow looks really bullish. Yeah, money flow looks bullish here, guys. I don't know if this is going to play out. All right, I will check ADA real quick because I forgot. Someone asked about that way back at the beginning of the stream. Wow, ADA actually is pushing for the week, pushing up pretty nicely. We got the SFP of the low, super nice. No weekly levels for quite a while. All right, this is an old channel we don't need. We don't need this. That was a nice SFP short though, right there. And if we pull our volume profile of this lower price action, we're at the value area high now. If we close our daily candle above the value area high, I would just simply expect to continue up to take liquidity. First, you would look at this liquidity, then you would look at this liquidity. That daily level, still a fresh daily level. We could, and you do have this liquidity, so be careful because if you close this daily candle underneath value area high, it was probably a liquidity grab of this. Daily looks pretty bullish, no bear divs. No naked monthlies. Naked weekly point of control is around that SFP, that liquidity grab. But you held the value area low of the range. So there really is a real possibility you could come all the way up to your POC. I wouldn't necessarily be looking for that yet. Let's pull of Fibonacci from the range highs to our lows afterwards. You have to pull it to the lows afterwards. So yes, very nice. Actually, your golden pocket is right around It's not the best confluence. Let me make sure. And I just want to check to see if this is 30%. Actually, we can put that on non-log. Okay, there we go. So very nice confluence zones above us. The zones I would be looking at, the SFP into the 786 is one zone, right? And then your naked weekly point of control at your golden pocket, simply. That's where you got to look for your pullbacks. If you hit into this naked weekly and reject, watch for the back test of the value area high. If it holds, you're going to continue up. If you SFP, then you might fall all the way back down to back test it again and continue up to take this liquidity. But yeah, it's looking pretty nice here. You want to close your daily candle above 27.5. Okay, yeah, but it looks pretty good. 4-hour money flow looks pretty bullish. You are starting to develop potential bear divs. These bear divs could be playing out right into this golden pocket. So watch the golden pocket, 28.5 cents. Dash USD, we covered yesterday. You are rejecting golden pocket, naked daily point of control. Or actually, that's a smaller pullback. It was a naked daily point of control. You are bouncing from the bottom of your pitchfork band. You did get a small pullback from this purple box. We can delete this purple box now. The next big level is really up here, that 62 to 64 zone, your golden pocket. It's the top of your pitchfork. It's your naked weekly point of control. If you bounce from this here, you're looking to come up to here. This is where I would really be looking for a bigger pullback. But it actually looks like it could bounce here and we could continue. It's seeing a very nice reaction from that pitchfork band. If we pull the golden pocket, you're bouncing from your 786. 786 pitchfork band, you are likely to continue. You do have to be careful here because this actually does look like it could be a contracting diagonal. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, kind of that contracting diagonal. And because this could be a contracting diagonal, watch the golden pocket and then another low. So the one, now you can pull your golden pocket from highs to lows. Watch the golden pocket around 54.4. 54 to 54.4. You do have internal liquidity resting there as well. That internal liquidity. So that's your, if you reject from 54.4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, contracting diagonal, 3-wave move up, you could see another low. If not, if you break through it, you're probably coming up to 62 to 64. The other one we were going to look at, ENA. I quite simply would be looking to come up to take out that liquidity. You're so close to it. You're so close to it. You have your sideways range in here. Volume profile. Breaking out of the value area high. If you close above it today, well, first of all, you're probably already going to come to take that out. If you close above the value area high and you don't SFP this, you're probably going to come up and hit the golden pocket. And that order block is in the golden pocket. That order block zone, 16 and a half to 17 cents. You also have a naked weekly point of control very close by. Yeah. So watch for the SFP. If you get the SFP of 1367. You might pull back to back test the value area high at 12.2. If you get a bounce there, you're looking to come up here. Okay, guys, I really do got to get going. Thank you. Maybe I will try to stream on, well, it's Sunday's Mother's Day. I'm not going to stream. Maybe a surprise stream tomorrow. I don't know, guys. Keep updated in the Telegram. Remember, guys, if you want to get my alerts and my all the alerts we set on what I'm looking at over the weekends, I post in the Telegram. So in order to get into the Telegram, all you have to do is join BYDFI using my affiliate link in the description. Deposit a minimum deposit of $100 or more. Once you've done that, click the Telegram link in the description. And in that Telegram verify channel, you type in /verify and then your BYDFI user ID. That gets you into the Telegram, and there you go. You guys have a good weekend. Trade safe out there. Remember, we talked a little bit at the beginning of the string about longing the tops. If you are longing the top and following the trend, make sure you have an asymmetric risk to reward ratio. Make sure you are calculating your position size properly. Make sure you are using those stop losses. Other than that, guys, have a great weekend. Appreciate all of your kindness so much, your support so much. Mark, thank you so much for the super awesome super chat. And I will see you guys in the Telegram or